Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Good morning. Welcome into the game plan. It is Wichita's number one for sports talk. 1410 AM, 93.9 FM KGSO. Live streaming at KGSO.com. We're also in the KGSO app where you can do about anything you want to stay connected with us. Listen anytime, anywhere. Follow along with all of our social media. Keep on track of what we're doing schedule-wise. Take poll questions, take trivia questions. It's all right there in one location. You can even call us right through the app on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotline. So get that downloaded. You find it in the App Store at SC Wichita. We are streaming across multiple platforms where you can watch, listen, and leave comments for the show. Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Doug and James hanging with you this morning in the Renewal by Anderson studios. Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. James, how you doing on this Monday?
Oh, just beating the heat today.
Yeah,
beating the heat.
You said this is when you didn't mind being up this early.
Yeah, because we don't have to deal with the heat. The drive over is pretty. It's pretty nice. Windows down.
Not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it was. Usually when I walk out of my house, it's really dark out and there's nobody around, and all of a sudden I hear somebody whistling. I'm like, who the hell is whistling this early in the morning? And my neighbor was whistling for his dog. And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I'm up working already because it's going to be 105 today, and I don't want to do it later. Everybody's trying to beat the heat, I guess. Kind of crazy. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Doug. How you doing?
Doing all right. Rodney, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I just came. This has nothing to do with sports or nothing, but I just figured would just holler at you. But you know what? I looked out my door yesterday, and we have a big old tree where my car is sitting, and the branch fell off and went through my windshield.
Really? Oh. Well, that's just called bad luck, my friend.
Yes, it is, but I guess, it was the neighbor's tree, so hopefully they're going to take care of it.
Well, yeah, I would imagine.
I told them I would pay half if they didn't want to put it on their insurance.
Yeah, hopefully they've got some insurance and they can get it taken care of, because depending on what car it is, man, it's crazy because years ago, you go somewhere, they throw a windshield in as, $100, $150, whatever. These cars today and all the technology now that's in the windshields, like it's a complicated process.
Yeah, I checked. I think I checked that. What's that? Safe light, and mine is. I have to make an appointment, but it's almost $900.
All right. Well, listen. If you, I know that you don't live in Derby, but you support Derby and you're down there quite a bit. But there's a good local business down there that does windshields too, called and I shouldn't be pitching them this hard because they're not sponsors of the show anymore. They're going to be again, though. But the Glass Man just opened up down in Derby, so you ought to check them out.
Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Local business. Got to do local.
I will do that. So the Glass Man.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Hey, I'm gonna get off here and let some real callers call in here.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good one.
We'll
Bye.
see you. I'm surprised we didn't hear about the Derby Panthers from Rodney. He's a big Derby Panther guy. Some schools start today, James. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah. Goddard. I know Goddard starts today. I'm not sure about Mays and Derby and some of the other outlying communities. But, yeah, some of the schools start today.
I mean, we always complain about the summertime and how slow it can be because, the lack of mainstream sports. But it kind of felt like this summer this year went by rather quickly.
It did. It is crazy. The Wichita Public Schools begin classes August 12th through the 13th. So they're just a couple of days away from getting going. Yeah, I was just trying to look up real quick to see if I could find something that listed. Even AI is not listing every date. And here's what's crazy is you got some schools starting today. High school football practice doesn't start until the 17th. So you got kids that are going to be in school for a week before they can even start practicing football.
So they don't, because I know every state's different. They're not allowed to practice over the summer?
They can lift. They can do some jamborees.
They can't do 7-on-7s?
Yeah, they can do 7-on-7s. They changed the rules, and honestly, I'd have to go on Keisha's website and look it up exactly. They changed the rules a couple of years ago where coaches can spend more time in the summertime with the kids. There is a down period. I'm not exactly sure when that is, but as far as like full pad, get ready to go for a game practice, that doesn't start until the 17th.
Wow.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, fellas.
Joey, how you doing?
Yes. Today, if you're out and about, traffic. Actually, this week, traffic will start picking up on the commutes, folks.
Yep,
School
no
will
doubt.
start. So, kind of weird how that works. I don't quite understand why it does that, but our nice, calm commute to work in the mornings will, by the end of the week, will be over with. So.
Yes, it will. It'll be completely over with, and you're going to have to watch out for the school zones and the buses and the whole thing. Although I noticed last week, and maybe it's just, it was just a trial run, but I noticed last week there were some school zones already operating.
My guess is, there probably some practice runs would be my guess. I know they were running through our neighborhood last week, but I think it was all practice runs. So.
It's crazy when it comes to high school football because, look, I mean, I remember back in the day. No, I remember when I was playing, though, a long time ago. Like, we had 3-a-days for a week, and then it went to just a single practice, and then school started. I mean, it seems like we were out there 2 weeks, but we didn't start school until after Labor Day.
Yeah, that, and still, it's funny because, if you look at the school schedules too, I still don't understand, why they have to start so early, and they get out so early. I think this year, if you were a senior this year, by the first week of May, you were done, which is just crazy. But then again, you start basically the first part of August, so it kind of makes sense. But it's all these days that they give them. During the school year off, where, I know we didn't get those days. So all the in-service and the days off for, all those days off for parent-teacher conference and all these extra breaks. And, it's all the stuff during the year they give them off, but that means they got to start 1st of August and get done the first part of May. And I don't know. It is kind of crazy because I remember, I think we were still in school or just wrapping up school when state track meet started. And now, if you're a senior, you're done 2 or 3 weeks before state track.
Yeah, you are. And if you're a baseball player and you make it all the way to the championship game, you're playing baseball and you've been out of school for almost a month.
Yeah. So
yeah, it is. It's the Goddard School District is crazy, and I know that's where your kids went, but it seems like they don't go to school on Fridays. Like it's like they're off almost every Friday.
Yeah. Well, some districts have gone to 4-day school weeks. Some of your smaller districts have gone to that. But it just seems like every time you turn around, they don't have school, and it's like, why? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sure there's there's a lot smarter people than me, so I'm sure there's good logic to it, but I don't know. Seems like about the time you start getting into the flow and you start getting your schedule down and things start going good, next thing you know, you got a couple days off, and it's like, God, we got to start all over again, it seems like. But like I say, they're a lot smarter than I am, so I'm sure they know better.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just more for these kids to learn. Now they have to learn all the AI and all the technology. It's not like we were when we were in school.
Well, and don't be surprised by the end of the week, one of these schools doesn't catch on fire or something like that, because as you know, we have a new law in the state of Kansas. No cell phones at all throughout the day at school. So they can't have them at all throughout the day. So it's either got to stay. I know some schools are different. Most of them, it's got to stay in your car. You can't even bring them in the building.
So I just heard about this.
Some schools you got, yeah.
Yeah, I just heard about this, but the part of this rule that I think is kind of crazy. James, do you know that coaches in high school can now no longer contact any of their kids through like text or anything like that? There is a special like portal or something now that if they want to contact their kids, it has to go through that. So like a coach can't send out a mass text to his team and say, hey, team breakfast tomorrow at 7:00, or,
Get a mom. Get a mom to do it. That's the loophole. You have to get a team parent to do it, and then it's okay.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Probably could.
But that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, this feeds into the club world, though, because every club team and stuff, you've got a group me, or you've got one of these apps, and that's how they communicate to everybody, is through one of these apps. So really, it's this kind of feeding. I think it's probably a parent driven, or probably a kid driven, because I know my daughter on her club team, even the girls, they have their group through the app, and then the parents have their group through the app. And that's how a lot of the kids communicate that are on the team. Or I tell you, I've seen it where first day of practice on a club team, the girls are creating a group where they all communicate with each other, and usually the coach is added to that. So to me, this is probably just making it a little bit more like what the kids are used to when they're playing, like on a travel team or a club team.
Yeah, I still don't. I mean, look, I guess I never had the luxury of having a cell phone when I was in school, so a coach couldn't contact me that way. But I still think it's kind of crazy. Like, if a kid's struggling in class or whatever, like, he ought to be able to reach out to his coach at any point in time, or her coach. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen, though, because, obviously when I was in school, there wasn't such thing as a cell phone. So if like your mom had to get a hold of you to remind you of a doctor's appointment or something, they would call the office, and then the office, and she would say, hey, get Doug a note. He's got to remind him he's got a doctor's appointment today at 3:30. And that's gonna happen again, and these schools are gonna get sick and tired of taking those messages.
Well, here's the catch to that. They all have Chromebooks, and they all have school email addresses, and so you're supposed to email your student or your child on their student email to her, hey, Susie, you got a doctor's appointment at 11, and you're supposed to do it through email because they all have their Chromebooks open during class and with them all day, and so that's how you're supposed to communicate.
Okay,
so,
yeah. So no cell phones, but it's not like you're cutting communication off. Like, it's stupid.
No, you're not cutting communication off. But then again, they did say just call the office, and the office will get the communication to the student. But I can. You're right. I've had to call the office before, and at certain periods, at certain times of the day, you're definitely you can hear it in their voice that you are being an inconvenience. So yeah,
I would pester the hell out of them. I would.
Well, I tell you what, my wife's a therapist, and she works in the schools, and she is not she's not looking forward to this because, guys, it is a huge problem. And then, this is like any other drug or anything else. You just can't just go take it away without any. This doesn't work that way. So, you're going to have some huge disruptions within some of these schools, I think, by just yanking these devices, and it's not just phones. No AirPods, no Apple Watches, no Meta glasses. Nothing.
You're there to
no
learn.
headphones. Yeah, no headphones, no iPads, none of that. You get your school issued Chromebook. That's your electronic device that you get, and it's state law. So yeah, the schools can't just be like, we're gonna just let you have them, because then that's gonna cause the schools to get in trouble. So it's a big deal.
Can we figure out how we can get this rule adopted for the workforce for like adults? I'm all in.
Yes.
James, could you go a day without your phone?
Yeah, I could.
You could?
Yeah, I could.
I figured you were still young enough.
No, I'm getting to the point where I don't even like scrolling on the apps anymore. I'm getting phased out of that slowly.
Yeah. Could go a day without mine, but it's going to take me 2 days to get caught up. So, and then I think, this week, I think it's conditioning. I know I just talked to one of the football coaches, and so all week is conditioning and getting outside and getting acclimated to the heat for football. So, can't touch a ball this week, from what I understand. Can't touch a ball in any sport until the 17th. So, but you can condition, I guess. So.
Yeah, and I guess it looks like, of course, this is a long ways out. But it looks like next week it's going to be into the upper 90s and hundreds too. So, probably need to get conditioned to the heat.
And then I think don't they have meters now in high schools for football that with humidity and heat? Don't they have some sort of? They got some ruling too, where if the heat index is at a certain spot or something like that they can't. They have to shut it down.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go to morning practices like they did last year, and I know that was a little bit of an issue for a lot of coaches just because the routine was so different. And it was just even though the practices seemed to be very spirited and kids liked being out there in the dark and in the morning time, I know for coaches, some of them didn't like it just because it kind of took away from the routine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, I mean, if this keeps going on for a while, I mean, you go play a 7 o'clock or 7:30 game. I think last night it was still around 100 degrees at 7:30 last night. So if you're practicing in the morning to avoid it, and then you roll around for your first game and you're out there and it's still 100 degrees at 7:30 at night, then, you're probably not ready for it. So I don't know. I think.
Was it last year or the year? But it seems like there was one year they moved some kickoffs back an hour because of the heat.
Yeah. So I know you got to protect, and it's kind of interesting, because Doug, you and I obviously, we had to walk uphill both ways and to school, and we had 3 days when it was 110 out. And,
no water breaks.
We didn't get to do any of that. No water. Oh,
yeah.
No. If you went over and grabbed that garden hose, oh man, you're going to have to run more.
Yep.
It's interesting though how back then it's maybe we just didn't know it. You didn't hear about it, but you didn't hear about kids dying or I mean, we had some kids might puke over in the corner of the football field, but you just didn't hear about it then. But man, you sure do hear about it now.
I know, and I just I gotta wonder if it's I don't know. Of course, things are much different. I mean, these kids are on more of a nutrition program than what we were. I think that even some of the vaccines and stuff that now we take that are probably different than what it was. I don't know. I can't put my finger on why.
Yeah, that someone told me one time too. They said the reason kids get sick these days is they don't drink water out of a garden hose. So, because growing up as a kid, you always drank it out of a garden hose. You never got sick. So he's like, maybe if we go back to drinking water out of a garden hose, maybe kids wouldn't get sick today.
Nothing better than an old rusty garden hose with well water coming out of it.
There you go. So somehow it was cold,
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't hot water. So, but I don't know. It's Yeah, it was always rougher back then, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean we think so anyway.
That's exactly right. So
James
well,
is over
guys,
here going, I grew up in Hawaii. You guys shut up. It's hot all the time. At least you got rained on every day, though, James, in practice.
There's a lot of rain, but not a crazy amount.
Oh God, that's just it. If a thunderstorm ever rolled in, it wasn't like get inside. It was like, heck no, let's go. We'll keep playing.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was when it felt good. But yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great Monday.
Right.
And here in the next week or so, we're going to get some high school football, some college football starts. This is going to be exciting.
It is. Got a lot of preseason games going on this weekend. And, yeah, I mean, that Labor Day weekend of college football is the best because I think, don't we start like on Thursday and go all the way through Monday on the schedule?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So, and that's week 0, correct?
No, week 0 is the week before that.
Is it the week before?
The first game is in 19 days. August 29th is the first game.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, that's just a couple weeks away then.
Then you have Thursday, September 3rd, Friday, September 4th, the 5th on Saturday, full of games. You've got 3 games on Sunday, the 6th, and then the Monday night game with SMU and Florida State over the Labor Day weekend.
Better's paradise, right
Yep.
there. Better's paradise.
Or nightmare, one of the two.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Have a good Monday.
Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, 522-1410 if you want to weigh in this morning. You remember high school football? Did you play high school football? You played soccer? What did you play?
I was a kicker.
Okay.
For 2 seasons, but I was mainly a soccer player.
Rough practices in Hawaii?
The heat honestly wasn't unbearable. I mean, the humidity would get pretty bad on some days, but we always had wind too.
Yeah.
So it never felt like death outside. The morning times obviously were much more pleasant, but we would practice between 4 and 6. So, I mean, it was never unbearable.
So there was an article that came out last week. I think you were off doing stuff over in the Ag Network whenever I was talking about this on the show. But there has been, right now it's just been a suggestion. I think they're looking at maybe adapting this as a rule that for offensive linemen, defensive linemen on high school football teams, for them to not have to run miles or wind sprints or don't use running as a punishment if they do something wrong because of all the heat stroke related deaths that have happened in both high school and college.
That's the serious part, but the change, soft. Do they even do the pacer test anymore in schools? Do you even know what that is?
No.
Where you basically run back and forth between a certain time period.
That might have been a soccer thing. I don't remember.
No, though that was what physical education. That's what everybody did.
Really?
Back in PE class, it was called the pacer test. I can't remember how far you had to run, but 20 meters maybe it was, and it was like a suicide. In basketball you run free throw line. It was kind of like that, but with the pacer test, and it would just progressively get faster and faster and faster. And then, a few years ago, it got ruled out. Like they weren't allowed to do that anymore. And I remember thinking, I maxed this thing out when I was in high school. And if there's kids today that are complaining about this, they're soft. I kept going to the point where the track ended. Like there was nothing left to be played on the track.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that. I mean, we ran a lot of 40s, obviously. We called it the step ladder, where you had to go 5-yard back, 10-yard back, 15-yard back, all the way down the field. So we did that a lot, but I don't remember the pacer test.
Bear crawls, too, were bad.
Oh, yeah. Wheelbarrows, bear crawls, up, down.
And we were next to a hill, so, yeah, we would bear crawl uphill, and it was awful.
Up, downs, all that stuff.
Yeah, burpees were bad, too, with full gear on.
Yep. They just don't do it like they used to. And look, maybe they're smarter. Maybe they're smarter about this stuff. Who knows? 522-1410. Weigh in this morning. Back after this.
This segment of the game plan is brought to you by Moneytown Pawn on Oliver, just south of Pawnee. Tools, electronics, firearms, jewelry, and more. Find what you need at Moneytown Pawn.
The game plan. KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys. Register to win great prizes. Listen live. Message our shows and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Next time you're scooting down Kellogg through Goddard, make a stop at the Rusted Bean Coffee Shop. Treat yourself to creative signature espresso drinks, real fruit smoothies, customized dirty sodas, made fresh breakfast favorites, and of course, great coffee brewed just the way you like it. Be a star with your buck and shop local at the Rusted Bean Coffee Shop, where you'll find more than 7 delicious brews waiting for you. The Rusted Bean Coffee Shop in Goddard. Worth the stop every time. Warm weather is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor space. Let the experts at Burwell Construction transform your backyard with a beautiful patio cover or pergola designed to add comfort, shade, and style to your home. Imagine relaxing outside, entertaining friends, or enjoying a Kansas sunset without the worry of weather. Quality craftsmanship, dependable service, and outdoor spaces built to last. That's what you get with Burwell Construction. Call today, 794-3430, 316-794-3430, or burwellconstruction.com. It's back to school time, and Moneytown Pawn has been helping families save. Whether your student is joining the school band or orchestra, you'll find quality name brand instruments for hundreds less than retail. Looking for the perfect finishing touch? Shop our huge selection of new and pre-owned jewelry to help your student look their best on the first day of school. For over 60 years, Moneytown Pawn has been helping families get ready for back to school while stretching their budget. Stop by today and see why generations have trusted Moneytown Pawn, just south of Pawnee on Oliver.
Right now, Rusty at Ford is making it easier than ever to save. Get 2.9% financing for 84 months plus a $1,000 rebate on all 2026 F-150s. With dealer discounts and 2 years maintenance on us, now's the perfect time to drive home in a new truck. Looking for something else? We have 500 new and used vehicles to choose from. And don't forget, we'll give you up to $5,000 over KBB for your trade. Visit RustyAtFord.com. Simply the best place to buy. With approved credit, 2 years or 25,000 miles maintenance. See dealer for details. Raptor's not included.
KGSO Studio, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. Find them online at renewalbyanderson.com. Don't miss a minute of Wichita's sports station. Listen online anytime at kgso.com.
This portion of the game plan brought to you by English Rentals and Trash Service. Whether you're a business, whether you need something new for your home, why not go with a good local company? You'll do that when you call English Rentals or find them online at english-rentals.com. Save money, go local, get better service. It all happens with English Rentals and Trash Service. They've got big roll-off dumpsters they can put at your business or your home if you need that. And, of course, weekly pickup as always. So find them online again, english-rentals.com, english-rentals.com. You'll be glad you did. Make sure you tell them you heard about them right here on the Game Plan and KGSO. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Well, Double D. Wakey.
Bye, you buddy. Bye, you buddy. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, see that Ben Third here. Got Corey and Jamesy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's good, man? Who's the new guy? Who's the new guy to your right or left?
James.
Robin to your bad.
Yeah, I'm also James.
James.
There's also James. There's a lot of James around the world, huh?
There is.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you? How's the weekend?
Couldn't complain.
Huh?
It was starting to get hot, so had to make sure I stayed cool over the weekend.
You can't complain
That's right.
by you, buddy. He lives in southeast Louisiana.
That's right. I live where
yeah, much worse over there.
It's hotter than hot, man. It's blistering heat, brother. But we make it. But how about those Hall of Fame speeches? What's your takeaway, Double D? Come on. What you got?
I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't watch it, and I really didn't hear too much about it. because I really don't care. But I saw some glimpses here and there online. I thought it was pretty cool of Sean Payton to be there for Drew Brees, and he obviously acknowledged Sean Payton and how much he meant to him and his career. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then just anything Roger Craig had to say was good. Matt Rule actually came out in his press conference that he had, his weekly press conference that he had, and said something about Roger Craig and how great it was to see him go into the Hall of Fame. So I out of all of them that went in, I probably have to tell you I'm more happy for Roger Craig than anybody. I think it took way too long for him to go in, but it was also good to see Drew Brees and everything that he's meant to the sport.
Absolutely, yeah. Brees was definitely the headliner, and Kuechly, Larry Fitzgerald, was good to hear from him. He gave a shout-out to Randy Moss, and just Larry Fitzgerald is just a classic guy. Just exudes confidence and, exemplifies the way how you're supposed to play the game week in, week out. And Luke Kuechly was also good, too. And Vinatieri, too. Vinatieri had some good jokes. I can tell you had a good joke writer. He took some stabs at Billy Belichick, and he also took a few stabs at Pat McAfee, which is, good comedy. It created some good laughs. But the main thing is those guys, talked about their journey. Everybody that helped them and all, their family, of course, the coaches, their high school teammates, and so forth and all. And that's what I love about it, just the whole the body of work, to lay it all out and to really see emotion and pure passion and joy. And, those guys truly deserve it because, they're dedicated to the game and they're not just good football players, also good people and make an impact in this world,
There's no doubt. Larry Fitzgerald is one of these guys, man, that just quietly put together a great career, right? But you didn't really hear from him. You didn't, you never read about him in the news of being in trouble. And yeah, you're right. Just a class act, man. Just a dude that, and from what I understand, still goes back a lot and helps out young receivers and does all the things right.
Right, because he had you've probably heard this story. It's a story that's been told quite a few times how Chris Carter was kind of like his mentor for Larry Fitzgerald. And then, of course, just paying it forward and just knowing that, hey, guys that help you out might as well trickle down and help the guys of the younger generation and let them know the path to get here. But, it takes a grind and it takes a lot of dedication and heart and soul and all of the above. But yeah, man, it was great. It was great to see that. It was great to see Chris Boomer Berman go at it. His voice is iconic when it comes to NFL highlights and when it comes to introducing guys and when it comes to churching up stuff to where you hype it up and you make it more than it is. But Chris Boomer is actually a voice of the generation. He's a guy that's iconic. Like we talked about last week. Tirico, of course, Berman and so forth. Jim Nance. Guys that are just voices of the sport, of any sport that makes you just want to tune in, lock in, and just hear it. Must watch TV.
Yeah, Berman was one of those guys that I appreciated what he was able to bring. I liked him on Sports Center probably more than I did as a play-by-play guy. Obviously, he had a lot of his little cliches or whatever it is that you want to call it. But yeah, he's kind of one of the first guys you remember when ESPN came out. And, man, for him to be in the business as long as he has said something for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been like 40 years?
Yeah.
Probably, maybe. It's been remarkable, man. He's been around doing ESPN pretty much more than I've been alive, which is awesome. It just shows you how elite, how special he really is. So, yeah.
I was just sitting here looking, and we are, just about, 15, 16 days away from a big Clemson-LSU matchup.
That's correct, man. It's going to be Orange Tiger versus the Bayou Bengal Purple and Gold Tiger, man. The real Death Valley, because LSU went to Clemson last year, so that home and away series. So yeah, looking forward to it, man. It's going to be awesome. Game day is going to be there, and anticipation's building every day. You get closer. And it's going to be a packed house, man. It's going to be standing room only. We may set a few records, but yeah, looking forward to seeing the good product that hopefully LSU can put on the gridiron and get a game one dub and see how Lane Kiffin era truly begins.
Now, do you go to games? Do you go to LSU games?
I've been to a few back in the day, a few years ago, but with the schedule I have right now, it's kind of tough. But yeah, the first game I went to, Doug, was when back in the day whenever Herb Tyler was a quarterback and Jerry Donato was the coach. I mean, a guy that came from the Big Ten, right? So that's a long time ago, you could say, probably 98, 99. But yeah, I've been to a few here and there, but I haven't lately. But it's quite an experience, man. The full game day experience is truly special with the band coming down the hill. You have the players walk. You also have, when the pregame stuff, of course, you have the Mike the Tiger that's in a tiger cage, and he goes around the field, and the cheerleaders are, showing them off and so forth and all that good stuff. Playing the band, Tiger band is playing a lot of their tunes, stuff of that nature. Man, it's a full on experience. If you're really gonna go, you know what I mean? You got to enjoy it from sun up to sundown if you're gonna get the full taste of it.
Well, listen, that's just a Louisiana way of doing things, isn't it? Because you go to New Orleans and it's sun up to sundown, or it's all night, whatever. So it's just the way you do it down in Louisiana.
That's right, man. It's we're just built different, buddy. That's just the way it is. And look, good to hear from you guys. Have a good week, and I'll touch base with y'all tomorrow. All right, take
see
care,
you, buddy. Appreciate it. Our Bayou buddy, all the way from Southeast Louisiana, calls the show every day. Show goes at national, man. Like, we got guys in Arkansas,
that's
Texas.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Oh, I'm looking so forward to that weekend of college football. And we got some games in week one. I mean, there's some matchups. Maybe not so much like on Thursday. There's not a lot of big games. But you realize both KU and Oklahoma play on Friday, September the 4th? Their first games are on a Friday.
I don't know if I like that.
It's Labor Day weekend, so I'm okay with it. I typically don't like Friday night college football because I think it should be for high schools on Friday when they start.
Yeah.
But this first weekend, there's no high school games, at least not around here.
All right, then. Because of that.
Actually, I take that back. That is the first Friday of high school football, September 4th. It does start September 4th this year.
Yes.
The last couple of years, it hasn't been on Labor Day weekend, but this year it is. So, yeah. All right. No, I don't like it. Stop.
It's like when we have these NFL games start on Saturday, like late in the season. It's like, what are we doing? I get that they're in their break right now, but it just feels off.
With the NFL, the ones I don't like is, look, I enjoy some NFL games on Christmas Day, but if Christmas Day is a Tuesday or Wednesday, we shouldn't be playing NFL games.
No.
Really? And I understand that, for you NBA folks, it's kind of NBA Day, but we shouldn't be adjusting the school or the schedule just because Christmas Day is what day you want to play. Wasn't it last year? Was it the year before? Like 4 teams had like 4 games in 14 days or something like that.
I don't know if it was that much, but
no, it was because like the Chiefs. I remember the Chiefs were in it. They played Sunday. Then I think it was a Wednesday. Then they played like the next Sunday. Like it was crazy. It's a crazy schedule. So, but big weekend of college football coming up. You've got, in that Labor Day weekend, James, you have that Clemson-LSU game, which is a pretty nice game. You got SMU and Florida State, which play on Monday night. You've got Louisville at Ole Miss, Wisconsin at Notre Dame on Sunday. Like, this is what I do like about college football right now is, with conference realignment and things like that, like we tend to get better early games. There's a lot of them, though, that probably not. Oklahoma State at Tulsa. That'll be kind of interesting because we don't know much about Oklahoma State. We're going to talk a little Big 12 football today, kind of break down the conference a little bit as much as we can. But, yeah, some nice stuff. Boston College at Cincinnati. I'm one of these guys when it comes to college football. I'll watch any game. I don't care who it is.
I know you're not watching Maction on Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday I watch Maction.
Stop.
Every Tuesday. And most of the time, I choose the college game over the NFL game on Thursday.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Thursday NFL games are usually not the greatest anyway.
The problem with Maction is it doesn't start until really late in the season, though.
Oh, you're talking about like week 8?
Yeah, something like that.
I thought they started it in October, like week 4 or week 5.
No, it's usually like 7 or 8, week 7 or 8 before we get a little Maction. You don't watch Maction on Tuesdays?
Not every game. No, hell no.
Oh, dude, it's some fun football to watch.
I mean, if it's Bowling Green, I'm not watching it.
What do you got against Bowling Green?
They've outside of the years that they had Harold Fannin, they have not been a fun team to watch. A lot of those Maction teams, not very exciting to watch. You'll get a couple of big plays here and there, but there's more bad plays than there are good ones.
Well, Ohio's been a nice team to watch. They've had some dudes that they've put into the NFL over the years. So they're pretty fun to watch. Who else? What was the team that beat Michigan a few years back? I guess it's been a while now.
It was you talking about Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois when they were still there?
No. Central Michigan's pretty good. Western Michigan's good. They've had some nice teams. I mean, you had Miami of Ohio last year that went undefeated. Buffalo's not bad. Yeah, you got some teams.
A couple. But nothing that I'm going to, dedicate and drop everything for.
What else you got to do on a Tuesday during the wintertime?
I'll watch the NBA. I know you don't.
Yeah, but you can do that any night of the week. You can play every night.
Maybe I'll give in.
Final segment here of Hour 1. Back after this, 522-1410. Call the show.
Call the game plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The game plan. KGSO.
40 to the 30. The Burgers are on.
High school football is almost here. And your one-stop source for all your high school football is your High School Football Guide from the Mid-America Sports Network. Stay tuned in and hear where you can pick up your copy. Catch each team's season schedule, read about each team and coach, and follow your favorite team all season long. It's the Mid-America Sports Network Football Guide, and it's coming to a location near you.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one?
I heard it comes in a hybrid now. I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you, because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorrento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
The best barbecue deal in town is at Hog Wild. Right now, Hog Wild is serving up a $5.99 meal that's big on flavor and easy on your wallet. Get a 1-meat sandwich, your favorite classic side and a drink, all for just $5.99. Want brisket? Upgrade to our tender slow-smoked beef brisket for only $1.50 more. Pulled pork, juicy chicken, and hot links. Everything is smoked fresh, made daily, and piled high. This is real barbecue at a price that's hard to beat. When you want big flavor and a big deal, head to Hog Wild for the $5.99 meal deal today. Great food, great price, great barbecue. Join us for lunch or dinner or order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But
be late, we close at 8.
Across Kansas, new equipment is ready now at Lang Diesel Incorporated. From Massey Ferguson tractors built for straightforward, dependable performance to Fendt machines engineered for next-level efficiency, it's all here. With 10 locations, Lang Diesel makes it easy to get the equipment, parts, and support you need fast. Visit Lang Diesel Incorporated today. Find your nearest location at ldi.us. Lang Diesel, your Kansas Fendt dealer for over 35 years.
It's Wichita's sports station all in one location. Just download the SC Wichita app today.
Our good friends at Truck Stuff, 427 North Washington, would love to see you today. If you have a truck or an SUV and you need something for it, whether it's custom floor mats, a bug guard, maybe you need some new lighting, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. They do it all at Truck Stuff, and they've got the experts there to help you out. That is what you get when you shop at Truck Stuff versus going online and just buying any old thing, is you get the experts. They can tell you what you need, get you the right product, so you don't have to worry about returning it, all that kind of stuff. They got a full shop that can take care of you as well. So stop by and see Truck Stuff this morning, 427 North Washington. You know you're in the right spot when you see the big old Jeep painted on the side of the building facing towards the south. Over 40 years in business. It's Truck Stuff. Tell them you heard about them here on the Game Plan and KGSO. 522-1410 is the phone number. Why did we think that our government would just step in and immediately fix college sports, and something that it seems like now everybody that is involved with college football especially has signed off on the Protect College Sports Act, but it failed to reach a vote during a all-night pre-recess session in the Senate. So they've tabled it until September when they return from summer break. They just take off and they leave for about a month and a half. Then they come back. Because there's nothing to do in our government. We got nothing for them to be concentrating on, right?
Yeah, I don't think this is ever going to get a clean resolution. I mean, there's always going to be someone that, speaks up against it or stalls it or delays it. I believe that the future's just very shaky. We don't know what could happen, what changes that they could implement, but these are things that they should have been doing before they rolled this out.
Yeah,
I don't understand. And they were so happy to let's pay these guys, and then they didn't have any guidelines. That was their own fault.
Well, it was the NCAA's fault first, because they were the ones that said, "Nope, we don't want to do this. You guys want to do it? You figure it out." And they just walked away from it. So that was their first fault. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Doug.
Hey, Dakota. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
I remember going to school right after the Little League World Series.
Oh, okay. So when it was over, that's when you went?
Yeah. But that was back in the 90s.
Yeah, when is the Little League World Series?
I thought it
could be next week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know why they are going to school early now.
I guess they have more to learn than what we did, Dakota.
Oh, I know.
I think they're getting out earlier. I think they're getting out in like May.
They do, but I mean, school was always right after Labor Day till right before Memorial Day. That was always the school time, and you had 2 breaks: spring break and Christmas break. That was it.
You didn't have fall break?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm just ready for some football and high school football.
Yeah, well, your Chiefs play on Saturday. They have their first preseason game.
Yeah. Did you what do you think about the Buffalo Bills' new stadium?
I saw a couple of highlights from it. The stadium looks nice. I'm not quite sure about those uniforms they were wearing.
Oh, the uniforms were atrocious.
Yeah. I don't know why you come out with that.
Yeah.
Also, there was quite a few of obstructed seats in that state. I don't know if you saw this.
I did not.
There's a whole bunch of obstructed views in that stadium.
Really?
From guardrails to guardrails, like windows on those, they're on the stairs, and so they have railings, but they put glass so you could still see through it. Not very smart, but there was a lot of obstructed views.
Well, see, this is why they do this in preseason, then, like you said.
Well, whoever came up with the renderings of the stadium obviously didn't show them every single seat view, because there was a good amount of seats. You can't see the entire field. Now, I understand that they have to market those as obstructed view, and so they're probably going to be a little bit cheaper, but you're still spending a whole bunch of money to not see the whole field. I don't understand why you would even offer that.
That is kind of weird.
There was a good amount of obstructed view seats, though, in that stadium.
Were people complaining about it?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know anybody specific that was complaining, but I knew it was drawing a little bit of attention. Like, wow, I mean, because people were pointing out the Viking Stadium, and there isn't any obstructed seats in that stadium.
So here's a headline. 2.1 billion NFL stadium ripped to shreds as trash. Views and design flaws slammed in fan unveiling.
Yeah, and it was pouring down rain in the stadium.
Well, I mean, it's what you're going to get in Buffalo. You're going to get rain or snow.
They should just have a dome.
No, Buffalo embraces the weather.
Yeah, you can't have a dome.
They embrace the weather. I mean, how else are they going to get publicity with their fans shoveling out the stadium before the game starts?
No, I know. Maybe that makes the Chiefs Stadium look kind of nice. That they might not have no flaws to it. Maybe it's going to be like the old stadium.
Doug, did they say if it was going to be a retractable roof?
Oh, it will be.
It will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
So all right, thanks, Dakota. Appreciate it. So I'm just reading this article. It's from something called Talk Sport. And it says one of the major talking points on X appeared to be a stairwell blocking the view from a handful of seats high above the halfway line.
That's one of the pictures that I saw.
A lot of images that were posted online shows fans obstructing views of the field when using the stairway. And there's also sight lines from the upper and lower bowls that appear to be blocked.
I'll show you more of it later, but some of it's pretty bad.
That is crazy. Somebody said, how is this blanking possible? There's a stairwell blocking me. Stan Weber joins the show next to kick off hour 2.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. With the ongoing concern about the cyclosporiosis parasite spreading across the Mid-America region and the state of Kansas, also with ongoing food shortages and food deserts in the city of Wichita, the Health and Wellness Coalition of Wichita says they're doing what they can to try and battle the near 44 square miles of designated food deserts within the city, along with trying to give better access to different resources to individuals in need within the community.
Do we really need a big hotel right now? Or do we need housing for our communities? Do we really need boarded up buildings for billionaires, or do we need links to access to care, such as clinics and community health centers, and also community-based organizations like Safe Streets?
The organization known as Safe Streets Wichita is providing overdose prevention services, substance abuse assistance, and community outreach, along with now trying to boost up their Healthy Corner store, a weekly community market offering low-cost produce and free food assistance for individuals in need.
News on KGSO is brought to you by Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading coins, bullion, and jewelry. It's 9344 West Central and online at philscoins.com.
The Kansas City Royals could only manage to win 1 out of 3 over the weekend against the Chicago Cubs. The Royals get beat yesterday 10-2. The only game they won was on Saturday. The Royals now travel to take on the first-place team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. That game is at 9:10 tonight. The Wind Surge completed a 5-game winning streak yesterday against Northwest Arkansas with a 6-3 win. They took 5 out of 6 against the Naturals. Surge off tonight. They'll face Corpus Christi tomorrow. That's sports. I'm Doug Downs. Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430. We're online at burwellconstruction.com.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm James Guerin. The latest USDA ratings put 46% of Kansas corn in good to excellent condition as persistent dry heat across western counties accelerates crop maturity and limits kernel fill. Coupled with mounting leaf disease and insect pressure in eastern fields, state producers are facing an increasingly mixed yield outlook as harvest approaches. K-State Extension agronomist Tina Sullivan tells us what she's been seeing out in the cornfields.
When we consider everything that this corn crop has gone through this year, we are sitting pretty good if we're looking at the statewide average right now. The USDA report that came out late July 27th, we are sitting about 42% of the corn crop looking good, only 12% looking excellent, and you can kind of do the math where the rest of the crop is sitting at. And it has been hit kind of hard by a lot of those weather events we had, whether it was hail or wind events, whether it was rain, washing out some of our fields, causing replants or just delays in planting, and some other areas. Just overall, we kind of had that slower start, maybe that restart in some of those fields. But when we think about going towards our reproductive phases of corn, so really trying to get that grain yield, the state is sitting currently at 70% is silking, 34% is in dough phase. Central, South Central, and Southeast Kansas are the ones leading the pack in silking, and they're pretty far ahead into that dough and heading towards finishing, where areas that traditionally are going to be a bit further behind, like Northwest Kansas, are sitting at 21% silking. When it comes to our silking, our grain fill stages, weather does affect it, right? If we are not getting proper moisture or it's still really hot at night like it has been, it can affect how well the corn is pollinating and how well those pollen grains hit the silks.
Ag News from the Mid-America Ag Network.
Mostly sunny and very mild to start off the day today in and around Wichita, and that's going to set the stage for a hot one this afternoon. Brace yourself, shooting for a high near 104. Heat index could hit 106 or higher. Wind, it'll be out of the south, 10 to 15, gusts to 25. Overnight tonight, we're mostly starry, still warm. Lows only dropping to about 80 degrees. We'll keep that south wind going. More heat on the way for Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs both days near 104. In the Cake First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 7 o'clock, it's currently 74
This
degrees.
is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita. Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Here we go. It is hour number 2 of the game plan on this Monday morning. Welcome in to the Renewal by Anderson Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. You'll find that with the Renewal by Anderson. Doug and James hanging out with you here on Wichita's number 1 for sports talk, KGSO, 1410 AM, 93.9 FM. Live streaming it on our website at kgso.com. Through the KGSO app that you find in the App Store, SC Wichita, and watch, listen, and leave comments for the show on multiple platforms, Facebook Live, YouTube X, and Twitch TV. It is hour 2. It's a Monday. We head off to the Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. We find our good friend Stan Weber. Stan, good morning. How you doing this Monday?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Well, I was going to tell you, we're getting close enough now. We can almost smell the cut grass, but they don't use that anymore. It's all field turf, so I don't know. Maybe we can smell the rubber pellets or something?
Well, we should, because we are less than 20 days away as we get to this Monday from real college football. North Carolina and TCU in Ireland at 11 o'clock Central Time. A couple of Saturdays away, 3 Saturdays away, 19 days away, 25 days away until KU kicks off on a Friday night, and 26 for K-State to kick off on a Saturday night. So, yeah, it's very exciting to kind of get close. And you start with the football that was played last week, and boy, you talk about a snoozer, usually is the Hall of Fame game, because they play and it's an extra preseason game, and the NFL teams don't even respect the preseason games. They don't play their good players. And then you got an extra game that they really don't want to play. They call it the Hall of Fame game. And so they go out in the field, and even though NBC's there and Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth are there to make it sound like a big time, here we go for the season, usually it takes a series or two before you say, this is preseason and no good players playing and it is sloppy. That was not last Thursday night. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was as good a preseason game, high-quality football, competitive, won on the very last play of the game. It was really regular season-looking play by these players. I couldn't believe how efficient they were, how good it was, and I'm saying it's probably the best preseason game I've seen in 20 years. So we kicked it off in a big way last Thursday night, which makes it even more exciting to say the Chiefs are playing this week, on Saturday. We get to see the Chiefs preseason, and I know it's just preseason, but it's good to see those guys out on the field, and they'll go to Arrowhead Stadium to start that preseason off against the Rams.
Yeah, I did watch more of that preseason game this past week than I usually give preseason games, because I really don't care much about them, like you said. I mean, typically it's the second and third string guys that are trying to make the team. But it was entertaining. I don't really expect that coming up this weekend. In fact, I'm quite certain we're not going to see Mahomes in this game, and you're probably not going to see Kelsey. And, you may get a little bit of Kenneth Walker, probably a lot of Emmett Johnson. So, yeah, I mean, I look, it's football, and you get excited about that, but it's kind of tempered excitement just because you kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's why I'd rather emphasize 19 days till the college football games count, 10 times over what we would say about seeing the Chiefs on Saturday. But when you got a backup like Justin Fields, who's been an NFL starting quarterback, it'll be interesting to see. If he played at a high level for 2.5 quarters or something, it could turn into some pretty good football. And then you'd also learn, does he change his ways of not just being a dangerous runner to actually being a good passing quarterback that's reliable, learning under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Those things could pop But you're exactly right. You have to go in with the expectations that your mind could wander pretty quickly. Maybe by the end of the first quarter, you're going like, yep, I've seen enough of this. They have Chiefs uniforms on, but it just doesn't have enough emphasis of really mattering, so let's move on. I get that. And like I said, the Hall of Fame game, it usually takes one series from each team, and you're like, okay, maybe we'll listen to the interviews of the newly elected Hall of Famers or something, but you're really grasping to find a reason to watch, and it wasn't that way. So we'll see. I mean, I'm interested in, you got a legitimate NFL starting quarterback who's now the backup for the Chiefs. How will he function? What will he look like? Will he be improved? That'll be interesting to me, but I don't need to sit here and come up with reasons why I'm excited. I am excited to see the games, and even if I only watch for a quarter, guess what? There's a lot of other NFL games that I can dabble into and watch a quarter of if I want to see what's going on, remind you where everyone is, the free agent quarterbacks or players, and those kind of things. So I'm really happy we're on to football, and I don't know what it is, nostalgia or what, but I love the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I love the speeches, learning about these guys and hearing them talk about their high school experiences or how much they appreciate their parents or certain people or players, just the cheering from the fans. It always delivers for me, and it did this week as well. It was a lot of fun to listen to the different speeches that they had, and they always seemed to be worth watching to the very, very end, and it was great to hear Drew Brees. And I have a couple of connections with the Hall of Famers. They're kind of long to say, it's not really close, but the first one is I was there in 1998 at the Alamo Bowl when a younger Drew Brees, he wasn't a senior, and he hadn't won the conference yet, but he was coming on as a quarterback at Purdue, and they had a very good team, and they played K-State in 98. That's the game where K-State was disappointed after losing to Texas A&M in overtime over in St. Louis in a Big 12 championship game, and K-State was supposedly going to play in a national championship game, but they didn't get to, and then they fell all the way down to the Alamo Bowl and played against Purdue. But they played against Drew Brees, and he was incredible, just like the Hall of Fame player he was, for Purdue to barely beat K-State. And all K-State fans are so disappointed how they lose to Purdue. Well, if you go back and study the game and you watch this guy play, and they had a defensive end that was an all-pro as well that caused havoc on Michael Bishop. But before the game, I was able to, getting ready for a radio show, a pregame show that we had that we'd play like on Thursday night before the bowl game or a couple days before, I got to sit down one-on-one with no one else in the room, just a recorder and me and Drew Brees, kind of talking quarterback to quarterback. That was our take on it to get ready for that game. And I was sitting there talking to Drew Brees, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. The other guy I did that with as a quarterback was Steve Sarkisian, the head coach at Texas. He and I did the same thing when K-State played BYU in the Cotton Bowl in the 96 season. So both those guys I had a chance to spend 10 or 15 minutes with, and the SID wasn't there. No one else. It was just the two of us talking. And so that was kind of cool to think about Drew Brees. And then the other guy is Roger Craig. Roger Craig was a Nebraska football player. And when I played in 1980, my freshman year, I played defensive back before I went and changed to be the quarterback. I played defensive back, and I started against Nebraska one day in Lincoln. And you're talking about one of the best teams in the country. And they had a running back that played the I formation that they called the I-back. Right, Doug? The I-back. That's what they were called. Yep. That was a big Nebraska thing. If you're a Nebraska fan or you understand those days, you really understand that Tom Osborne had the I-back. And, man, it was a featured position. And so they had an I-back, and I went out there and played against Nebraska, and they were great. There's no doubt about it. They lived up to every bit of the acclaim that they deserved. So after they got ahead of us, which they did, very easily, suddenly, as things settle down, they bring in a backup running back at I-back. The backup was Roger Craig. So I play against Roger Craig for a while out on the field, and I go into the locker room after the game, and everyone there, the Nebraska media is all over us wanting to say, how's Nebraska going to do against Oklahoma? Because that was the only game they cared about, right? Be like, how are they going to go? And I'm sitting there saying, I hope they ask me the right question, because I have just decided with complete conviction that the greatest player I've ever played against, and it isn't close, is Roger Craig, the backup. That's what was funny about it. And now you think I'm on radio with you probably only because for some reason, people believe I have an ability to evaluate football and communicate and see what's going on. That was really the first day that came into play, because I walked off the field, as illogical as it sounds, to say the backup running back is the greatest player I have ever seen. And it is unbelievable how good this guy was. And people probably would have laughed at me, except for if you watch 5 years later and he's killing it with the San Francisco 49ers and the first player ever to have 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in the same season as a running back. It's only happened 3 times ever, and he was the first, a dominant player. So those two guys, it was really fun for me to have a little extra connection with those guys and go, the first time I really evaluated football in a public manner was to say, Roger Craig, that is a guy, is unbelievable, just untackleable.
So
then high knees and all that, he was unbelievable.
Here's what's so funny about those days, though, when he played for Nebraska. So a couple of these guys I don't remember, but one I certainly do. But I just kind of did a quick little Google search. Jarvis Redwine, who was an All-American I-back in 1980, rushed for over 1,000 yards, was ahead of Roger Craig on the depth chart, which was probably the starter when you played. Craig Johnson, who I don't remember at all, was ahead of Roger Craig. And then I don't know if you remember this or not, but in the 81 season, they actually moved Roger Craig to fullback because Mike Rozier came in and was the I-back.
Yeah, that showed you his versatility, but I didn't want to say it here because I didn't know if I remembered it perfectly. But I believe when I talk about this story of playing, for many, many years, I said with conviction, and now I'm getting old enough to go, I better be careful about this. He was the third string running back. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, that day, he wasn't the backup. I was trying to be conservative here on this radio, but I'm pretty sure, and I've told the story many times when I was younger, he was the third string running back that I said was the greatest player that I've ever played against, and it's not close. And that's when I felt really good about my evaluation. And there was no wishy-washy comment then. He was unbelievable. And that's, you think about Mike Rozier, fast forward, in 1983, I'm the quarterback for K-State against number 1 Nebraska and play against my redshirt junior year. But 1983, Mike Rozier was the star player for Nebraska when we played them, and I was Big 8 Player of the Week against the Cornhuskers. So, yeah, I absolutely remember Here Comes Rozier, because he was just an unbelievable player as well. But Roger Craig was perfect in everything he did, but I've never had anybody where you felt with so high level of confidence that you were going to tackle him. Like sometimes you get juked out, you're playing against a Darren Sproles and you're lucky to touch him. I get all that. But I was able to tackle Roger Craig with my head across the bow. That means across the body, up, in the thigh area. I got both my arms around his legs. This is a time where you just do not miss a tackle. I mean, I am now pulling both of his legs together with my arms, my shoulders right there, my head's across there. This guy is going to fall down here very soon. He might drag me for a yard or so and fall forward. I get that. But he is going down. He didn't. It was like he turned into a ghost. I fell on the ground and looked up, and he's still going. And I am in shock. And so I get off the ground and start chasing him. Well, I played free safety, so when I tackled him, I would have been the last line of defense. See, Nebraska was good then. They blocked everybody. Every lineman blocked every one of our linebackers, cornerbacks, defensive linemen. I was the last guy. So he was already going to gain 10 yards when I got there. But I didn't get him down. Everyone else, I took so long with him that all of our players started running to catch up. And they did catch up to Roger Craig. They caught up with him because he didn't break away and then have an easy sprint. He continued on and broke 7 other guys' tackles. It was like a 4th grader playing against 1st grade kids and having fun in the schoolyard. Like they know, you got him. Oh, I know you don't. And the next guy came. He gained like 50 yards. We tackled him at the say, 15-yard line before he made it into the end zone when about 4 guys jumped on him at the same time. But we missed 7 or 8 tackles. And if you could go back to the archives, because back in the day when the newspapers were the biggest deal, remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Omaha, Lincoln papers, they would show so many pictures of the game. And they took a whole page or most of it and showed shots, still shots, in order of this run. And it was hilarious. I mean, when we all jumped on him, I didn't get there in time. I mean, I was still chasing from behind, but we had 8 guys miss him, 7 or 8 guys miss him. I just happened to be the first. And that was just the most highlighted play. I couldn't believe it. I felt better. I felt better when I got down there and huddled up in the red zone on defense and go, yeah, I missed the tackle, but this guy's so good that he broke tackles for a lot of bigger, stronger, faster, better veteran guys than me. So they all joined me in saying, we can't tackle this guy. Go watch the videos of the NFL players all the time, the high knees and all that stuff. So, yeah, it was fun to bring back the memories of how great Roger Craig was. And I'm getting ready to start my 40th year of broadcasting. And because of K-State calling me and saying, hey, would you be interested in broadcasting K-State's games on radio? That's how all this started. And I'm getting ready for the 40th season. It really all comes about pretty simply because of evaluation, understanding what is true and not when it comes to football and sports. And there it was. Roger Craig was my first real example where I stuck my neck out and said, this guy, third team, unbelievable, greatest player ever.
Had 9 carries for 183 yards that day.
And like 50 or 60 of them on that one.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Look, we got to fast forward, though, to 2026 because we got college football kicking off here in about 19 days, as you said, with North Carolina and TCU. And then K-State opens up that first Saturday there over the Labor Day weekend against Nichols. Have you had a chance? I mean, obviously you've talked to the boy, I would imagine, about a lot of things, but have you had a chance to go out to any practices yet?
Yeah, I have. And it's not padded football yet. It starts right now. By NCAA rules, you got to ease in. There's a lot of protection of the athletes. They don't do 2-a-days anymore or 3-a-days. They just practice once a day. They do have days off in their schedule, like they may practice 6 out of 7 days. And that's the kind of rhythm of college football right now in fall camp. So they're going through that. But then the other part of it is you ramp up. You practice with just helmets for a couple of practices, and then you get to put on some, soft shoulder pads almost for a practice or two, and then finally you get to put on real shoulder pads, real football pants, and that kind of thing. So we have not seen the tackling yet. You haven't seen the full uniform practices yet at all. But so far, what I did see is there's a lot of connectivity, a lot of team attitude, and that is something that's very notable because what do we see today? Transfer portal football. Everybody's putting together a very new team. Every team in the country on big-time football has a lot of new guys coming in. So coming together as a team is something that's super important, and that's why I'm pointing it out. It's not saying who's really good at this position or where the strength or weaknesses is. The thing you watch for right now is everybody pulling in the same direction. Do they really act like and function like they're a team rather than a group of individuals? You're not watching a Major League All-Star game where guys try, but they're just one All-Star and another All-Star, and they don't have everything down together. How fast do they work as a team, communicate as a team, build each other up, hold each other accountable, all those kind of things, the psychological, social issues with the football team. How hard do they practice? Do they slack? The coaches have to get on them. Those are things to watch early. And of what I've seen, that has not been an issue. I can report back with really high grades that this team is together. It's as if they've been together a long time. They're pulling in the same direction. They're doing the right things, and the effort is there. And the coaches aren't trying to yank them into a mindset of this is what you've got to do. The players are really getting it. So the coaching is going well. The players are taking to it. And we'll see what that means when they start hitting each other, right? A defensive tackle, offensive lineman, it's a little hard to tell how well they're really doing until you can go full speed with pads on. And that's one of the issues about easing in. It's okay if you're a quarterback and wide receiver. You get a lot of great work in. But for the interior players, need to see the pads. And that'll come. It's happening as we speak. When you get into these days right now, everybody in the country will be able to put on pads and practice football however the coaches want to.
Now, I'm kind of worrying on the offensive side of the ball, new system, new coach. What have you seen in terms of Avery Johnson and his progression? Are they allowing him to kind of play his game, or is there still a little bit of a leash on the quarterback position?
No, there's definitely no leash. That's the easiest question to answer of all. Avery's still in a growing stage of what is his game. That's one of the things. He's started for a couple of years and then was in that bowl game even before that. And you might say, well, we know exactly what he is. But you think about it, he's been in multiple different systems. He's had 3 different coordinators in his first 3 years. Colin Klein started and recruited him and brought him in and played him some as a freshman, but that was really Will Howard's season. And then you go into Colin Klein left and went to Texas A&M, and Connor Riley, who's now the offensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys, was the offensive coordinator. And then last year, Matt Wells was the offensive coordinator. So in a sense, there's a lot of continuity that Colin's back. A lot of the same language that Avery's heard before is there. He's very comfortable with Colin, but there's other new coaches that came with him. So, yeah, there's no leash at all, but I think he really needs to find out because every year is a new system, and you're trying to do what the coaches want you to do, and you're trying to emphasize on each play, each game, and overall a section of the season, how you're supposed to play this. So we'll really see Avery express himself and find where is that balance. What does he really want to do? He's bigger, stronger, a third-year starting quarterback. He really gets what's going on. He's taken on even more of a leadership role. And I think what I've seen so far without pads, now, again, without pads, and then even if they have pads, they don't get to tackle the quarterback, right? So you almost have to wait till the regular season. But what I saw was that he was very comfortable in the passing game because when they did do things, they did 11 on 11. It's just that they didn't have full pads on. So it's a little bit different, but he still was in the pocket with all the havoc around you. And he really did a nice job of sitting in the pocket, delivering the ball on time, not being antsy, being accurate, picking the right receiver, the right side of the field, very efficient in that. And yet when things broke down, zip, he was off and running. There was no hesitation at all. So if that's what you're talking about, like, is he ready to hit the accelerator and run if the pass is not there? Yes, but I don't want quarterbacks, in my personal opinion, I don't want quarterbacks who think they're such good runners that they get antsy and they take off too early. When you drop back to pass, you shouldn't be thinking about, oh, I'm going to run. It shouldn't even be in your head. You should be a passing quarterback for a few seconds at least. And then if it breaks down or a gap appears before you, then you flip the switch and you say, okay, I can see an opening, I'm going to run. And I thought he did that. That connection of staying a passing quarterback through the progressions that the offensive line gives you time to do, and then not thinking as a runner, but then turning into a runner if it breaks down. It seemed to me that he looked like a third-year starting quarterback. That ability to do each of those was really good. No hesitation, bang, he was off and running with conviction, and no coach was saying, don't do that. But most importantly, he was throwing from the pocket accurately, on time, with a lot of different receivers. So I think that's the most exciting thing.
And I think that's what you're going to see out of him this year, following that kid in high school and just how poised he always was out on the football field. Even when he came in as a freshman and started games, he still looked like a kid that had a good football IQ. And I hope this year that's what we see out of him, is he just relies on his natural instincts and ability to make plays, because I do think there have been some times over the last couple of seasons where he has played tight. And when that happens, that's usually when you make mistakes.
Yeah, it is. I didn't play in the era that had this issue, that sliding was a smart strategy, okay? So sliding as a quarterback in the NFL or college can be a super smart strategy. That wasn't even on the board when I played, and I'm kind of thankful for it, because how do you play football and just let it loose and play with all your natural instincts and composure and competitiveness? And then how do you switch into, I just talked about how hard it is to switch modes from a passer to a runner. You've got to do that. two separate mindsets, and then bang, it changes. How, when I scramble, do I decide, oh, I think it's dangerous, I've got probably as much as I can, let's just slide down and not take a hit? And what does it mean to not take a hit when you look at a whole season? Was that really valuable that I didn't take that one hit? Or should I have taken that hit and it wouldn't even matter? And it wouldn't affect anything down the line. So where, like a boxer taking punches, in a boxing match, I'm not a big boxer, but I guess you just pound on them. You don't have to hit them in the chin. You work their body, and then they wear down. I understand that taking hits for a quarterback in the long run really takes its toll. But when you're playing, it is hard to decide, oh, should I really keep going to the sideline? Should I go ahead and take that hit and fall forward and pick up that extra yardage? Should I slide down and say, oh, that's enough? That is really hard to do. And that's the thing when you hear, the different voices or the different decisions. It is so challenging. Like, which voice is he listening to? Because I'm glad I didn't have to hear it. Hey, you're a dangerous runner. I led the team in rushing my senior year at K-State. I had more rushing yards than any other guy because I scrambled or ran the option once in a while. And like Colin Klein, he was a good runner. It's fine if you run, but then they tell you nowadays, oh, gosh, don't take that extra hit. We don't need you to bruise your arm when you're trying to throw. We don't need to have the accumulation of injuries. Let's play it safe. Be smart. How do you do that? I mean, I asked myself today, I don't know how he'd do that. And so when you see Avery with whatever people's opinion was about what he did this time and where he ran and where he slid, it is hard. And to find that rhythm of when you do it, welcome to Patrick Mahomes' world, okay? Patrick Mahomes is perfect. Like if it's 3rd and 7, he'll run for 8 yards, but he won't worry about going for 15 and to take too big a hit.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Josh Allen even can't do it. You see Josh Allen get hit for the Buffalo Bills? Like when he takes off, he's like me. I'm going to keep running. And then bang, 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 he gets hit.
Yeah.
But when you got coaches telling you, man, don't take that big hit. How do you do that?
Yeah. You just gotta play smart football. That's how. All right.
That's more than smart right there. So I don't know.
Appreciate the time as always, Stan. Have a good week. We'll talk to you again next Monday.
I'm just glad I don't have to tackle Roger Craig today. So have a great day.
See ya.
Call the game plan now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The game plan. KGSO.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check. They went to NFL coaches, executives, general managers, and scouts. And they asked them, who are the 10 best quarterbacks in the league? Where's Sam Darnold? And that's what's really interesting. Even the GMs in this league don't know what the hell to do with Sam Darnold. Back-to-back 14 wins and a Super Bowl.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays at 11 a.m. right here on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Even the finest jewelry needs repairs sometimes, and Wichita's first choice for full-service jewelry repair is Jewelry Savers. Whether you need ring sizing, stone setting, soldering, or shank repair, Jewelry Savers does it, along with lobster clasps, prong retipping, pearl restringing, chain shortened or lengthened, watch repair, watch batteries, watch bands, engraving, cleaning, polishing, even appraisals. Trust Jewelry Savers by Cabela's at K96 in Greenwich.
Jewelry Savers. We don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
Burwell Construction has been a trusted name in the roofing business as a local company. Whether you're still trying to get a new roof from storms or have general wear and tear, call Burwell Construction at 316-794-3430. Burwell Construction will evaluate your roof and work with you from start to finish, even help with any insurance claims. Join the thousands of others and trust your next roof to Burwell Construction. 316-794-3430 or burwellconstruction.com.
It's Burwell, it's Burwell. Burwell Construction.
Where'd you get that grin? Right above your chin. You know the place. Puts a smile on your face. Andy's the one. Frozen custard fun. Made fresh every hour. It's your happy power. Top your day. With a smile at Andy's.
Did you know my frozen custard is made fresh every hour? Or that our toppings are baked daily right in our stores? It's how we top your day with a smile at Andy's.
For over 55 years and 2 generations, the Southwestern Remodeling Professionals have been providing homeowners in the Wichita area with a truly unique luxury remodeling experience. From the initial consultation through project design and production, our team provides concierge-style service with a true focus on the best quality products and professional installation. Are you ready to experience something truly different? Give us a call today at 263-1239 or visit southwesternremodeling.com.
It's time for you to experience the expertise in beer, wine, and spirits. With 2 locations across Wichita, Auburn Spirits is passionate about providing you with the most exclusive wines, unique beers, and world-class spirits. Whether it's for the big game, a night with family and friends, or any other special occasion, Auburn Spirits takes your celebration to the next level. Visit our east or west location in Wichita or find out more information online at auburnspirits.com.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Fox Sports. Fox Kansas is Wichita's home for exciting live sports action. Saturday, it's an afternoon of exciting horse racing action as Fox Saratoga Saturday showcases the Christoph Clement Turf Stakes from 2 to 5. Then 2 MLB National League contenders square off in primetime as the Brewers battle the Dodgers at 6. Play ball! And on Sunday, IndyCar NICS Racing takes to the streets of Markham, Ontario with the Ontario Honda dealers Indy at 11. Fox Sports. Fox Kansas. Channel 24. Cox Cable Channel 4.
KGSO Studio, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. Expert installation done right. Right on schedule. Find them online at renewalbyanderson.com. Don't miss all your favorite college games all season long. Only right here on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
All right, James stepped away here for a segment, so we'd love your phone calls. 522-1410, Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. Call the show. Be a part of it here this morning on this Monday morning as we get closer and closer to some college football kicking off here in about 19 days. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this Protect College Sports Act that seemed to have failed in the Senate before they went on recess here in just a moment. But let me tell you real quick about our friends at Meadowlark Landscape and Design. Yes, fall is rapidly approaching. The ideal time to core, aerate, and seed a fescue lawn is coming up quickly. It begins on September 1st, goes to about mid-October. So it is time for you to let the professionals at Meadowlark Landscape and Design give you an honest assessment of your lawn and what it needs. Very simple. Great local company. The best landscapers you're going to find anywhere in the state of Kansas. All you have to do is give them a call this morning at 316-880-0227. 316-880-0227. That's how you get a hold of Meadowlark Landscape and Design. They offer core aeration, overseeding, dethatching services. You can call them, you can text them, you can email them. Just jump on their website, check out everything they have. If you mentioned you heard all about them right here on KGSO, 10% off your seeding needs. That is very, very huge. 10% off. All you got to do is tell them that you heard about them right here on the Game Plan. Meadowlark Landscape and Design, they are the official landscape company of Steckline Communications. So we've talked about this a lot on the show, this Protect College Sports Act that finally you got the Big Ten and the SEC to sign off on. And we started talking about it a little bit earlier today and then kind of got taken in a different direction. Well, they were hoping that this thing was going to get pushed through the Senate before they went on their recess, their summer break, which has started and doesn't end until sometime in September. Instead, they have pushed this back now for a September vote. And a big part of the reason why this got pushed back is because even though the conference commissioners for the Big Ten and the SEC have signed off on this and said this is going to be a good thing for college athletics, there's a couple of lawmakers, surprise, surprise, from SEC states that weren't so hip on this bill. One of them, Tommy Tuberville, who was the old Auburn football coach, now a part of the Senate, he was against it, along with Josh Haley out of Missouri. They were two of the biggest skeptics against this bill. There was also a couple of organizations, the Congressional Black Caucus and the AFL and CIO, came out against it. They say that this bill, I guess, is taking too much away from the athletes and giving the schools too much control. I'm not sure where they see that at and how they're not seeing that there needs to be more control by the schools. Schools need to be able to somewhat protect themselves. And again, I'm not against athletes getting paid. I'm not against them being paid at all. But there's got to be these guardrails. Among the bill's biggest features, it would redefine third-party NIL, the name, image, and likeness sponsorship deals that most blame for the spiraling costs. Schools under the current rule have rev share of $21.3 million among all players across their athletic platforms. But there's an uncapped amount of extra money that can be made by these third-party deals. And this is one thing that the bill is addressing, that these deals have to be legit. They can't be a pay-to-play type situation. It's got to be a real NIL, a real name, image, and likeness. And we've got this organization now that is supposedly overseeing these, and they're deciding whether or not the current value being offered is worth the NIL services that the player will provide. For an example, if a player does some kind of a social media post or some kind of an advertisement, or they're going to make some kind of a personal appearance at a business, that business can't just say, here's $100,000. This group will oversee it, look at it, and say, in fair market value, this isn't worth $100,000. This is worth $25,000 or whatever the amount might be. That's all the stuff that gets addressed in this bill. And this is where I think some of them have a problem. Some people think that, look, it's capitalism. It's the way America runs. If a company feels like you're worth $300,000, that's up to them. And I get that to a certain extent. But I do think that we've got out of hand. And one thing also this bill addresses, which I think has to be done, and that is this blanket payment just because you made a roster. There was a gym, 2-3 years ago in Miami that basically said any kid that makes the Miami football roster will receive $25,000. That's the kind of stuff I think that we really need to get rid of in college athletics, because that is true pay for play. And that's where you need these guardrails. Look, the rev share part of it I think is pretty simple, although I do think these schools should be allowed, and they're trying to do this, and they've gotten lawyers involved where these are legal binding contracts. However, I think we all know that there's enough federal judges out there that if they were to hear some kind of a case, they could decide against the school. But I do think with this rev share, if the school is going to be on the hook for $21.3 million, there's got to be some kind of a binding contractual agreement. So if the school says that's fine, we'll pay you $2 million. It's $1 million a year, and you got to be here for 2 years. And if you don't, you got to pay that money back. And we're seeing lawsuits right now. We're seeing schools sue players right now. There's quite a few from Ole Miss that are being sued because they left and went to LSU. And the schools haven't gotten their money back. Again, there's contracts out there now. They supposedly are legal contracts that have been drawn up by lawyers, but it only takes one judge somewhere to say, yeah, no, you can't do that. In this bill, I think that would help eliminate that part of it. Here's the bottom line in college athletics, I think. We know players are going to get paid. That's fine. I think everybody has gotten on board that it's fine if players are getting paid. We know that the transfer portal is out of hand. That's got to be controlled a little bit more. And I think it does it in this bill. The 5-for-5 controls it a little bit more if that stands up. What we've got to put a stop to is blanket payments just because you make a roster. And I think, too, what we have to put a stop in, I think these boosters that are giving up all this third-party money, they've got so much control now over these college programs that you got to figure out a way to get that under wraps. You can't have Cody Campbell at Texas Tech. And if you go read anything about Texas Tech football or Texas Tech athletics for that matter, like his name is mentioned every time. He is controlling that program. And if I was an athletic director, if I was a president of a school, I mean, I would love my boosters, don't get me wrong, because they are the financial backbone of this. But on the other hand, I still need to have some control over my programs. And I think that's one thing that's got to be eliminated from college athletics. Because as long as the boosters control the programs, the more and more and more we're just going to get out of hand with all this stuff. So it looks like this bill is going to be September. Here's my fear is it gets pushed back even more. And then you're talking about being too close to election season in November where things could totally change, and then this thing just kind of falls off. They got to get this done when they come back. And you know how it was. I mean, they say it was an all-night pre-recess session. I mean, they went through all this other stuff that they got to deal with in this country. Oh, and then somebody goes, oh, yeah, what about this college sports bill? Are we going to vote on it? Let's just put it off until September.
This portion of the game plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The game plan. KGSO. This is Stu Gatz and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gatz and Company live.
We have to put a 30-year ban on kids playing football, basketball, and baseball, and then say we're putting 100% of our attention to soccer.
That's unfair to the kids, man. I mean,
you do that, though?
Yes.
And you'll see how many Mbappes and Hollands we have.
So what you're doing is forcing the next Randy Moss to play soccer.
Stu Gatz and Company live.
Stu Gatz and Company, weekdays at 2 p.m. on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Pride Ag Ace Hardware will get you ready for the lake now that summer is officially here. Start with the grill. Whether you need gas, pellet, or flat tops, Pride Ag has it all with top brands like Halo and Napoleon. Whichever one you choose, Meat Church Rubs, exclusively at Ace, will make your meat delicious. With the meat on the grill, keep your drinks cool with Yeti cooler and cups, and entertain the whole party with the Turtle Box speaker. Get everything you need to have fun at the lake this summer at Pride Ag Ace Hardware in Mays. 5204 North Mays Road.
Fox Sports. Fox Kansas is Wichita's home for exciting live sports action. Saturday, it's an afternoon of exciting horse racing action as Fox Saratoga Saturday showcases the Christophe Clement Turf Stakes from 2 to 5. Then 2 MLB National League contenders square off in primetime as the Brewers battle the Dodgers at 6. And on Sunday, IndyCar NICS Racing takes to the streets of Markham, Ontario with the Ontario Honda dealers Indy at 11. Fox Sports. Fox Kansas. Channel 24. Cox Cable Channel 4.
Imagine a tropical paradise where the sun always shines and the fun never ends. Welcome to Blast Off Bay, the ultimate indoor water park. Catch a wave on our state-of-the-art surf machine, unwind with a cold drink at the poolside bar, or relax in our warm, inviting hot tub. Then get ready for thrills on 11 exciting water slides that'll take your breath away. Hungry? Enjoy pizza, burgers, wings, and more. Open 365 days a year with a perfect climate every day. Don't wait. Plan your escape today to Blast Off Bay.
When a person calls 988, they're connected to a crisis counselor.
Crisis is completely self-defined. If you're wondering if you should call, you should probably call.
A caller can expect to
talk about coping skills, talk about resources and ways to move forward beyond the call.
They can call us, they can chat, they can text, and when they come out on the other side, they're feeling better.
Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Sponsored by Headquarters Kansas and aired in cooperation with this station.
Hi, this is Tyler Fee with Fee Insurance Group here in Wichita. To be a business owner in and around Wichita takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and most importantly, passion. Being protected can help give you peace of mind. Fee Insurance understands all your sacrifice, and we are passionate about helping Kansas businesses protect everything you have built. The Fee Insurance name and legacy is at the center of everything we do, guiding you through the risk of owning a business. You can count on Fee Insurance. Find us at feeinsurance.com. Fee Insurance, forward together.
Want more sports talk? Find more about your favorite shows and hosts at kgso.com.
The chills that you spill up my back keep me filled with satisfaction when we're done. Satisfaction of what's to come.
I just read some sad news during the break. Very sad news. Cooter died. You don't know who that is, do you?
I don't.
Yeah. When I was a kid, there was a show called The Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, I know what that is.
Yeah. Ben Jones, he played the role of Cooter.
Oh, okay.
Passed away yesterday. Sad news. I'm of that age now, James, where like a lot of my childhood folks that I watched on TV are starting to move on.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah, I guess.
It's life, but it's a part of it.
522-1410, Maximum Outdoor Equipment Hotlines. So there's a lot going on right now in this world for sure, but you follow this more than I do, I think, because I don't watch the WNBA, but obviously the headlines all weekend long have been about a couple of like ex-NBA guys that now want to join the WNBA.
Right, and they're just challenging what the WNBA said, which was we're open to anybody, as long as it follows our guidelines. And this is just I don't think it's just a publicity thing. Like, I genuinely think that these two individuals, Ennis Cantor and Royce White, are out here to just prove something. Like, because it's kind of a fragile topic, but there is a reason why we have a men's league and a women's league. Like, there's a reason why they exist. And it's just simply due to the fact that physically, on an average scale, I have to watch what I say here, on an average scale, we're superior. Like, we just are. Like, that's no disrespect. And I know that there are some women out there who are on the top end of their scale that would beat the crap out of average males.
I'm not playing Caitlin Clark 101, right? Like, she'll kick my butt.
Right, but yes, she would go out and beat a lot of average Joes. Mm-hmm. But for people that are in her sport, she even came out and said, I wouldn't beat a single NBA player one-on-one.
Well, so I heard this the other day, and I don't watch the WNBA, so I don't know. But I did hear that there right now is not a single player in the WNBA that can dunk.
Well, Brittany Griner can dunk.
Okay, or doesn't do it in a game.
Asia Wilson can dunk.
Hasn't been done in a game, maybe.
It doesn't happen that often.
And that both of these guys could dunk the ball anytime they wanted.
Right. So, again, I think they're just challenging the insanity of what the WNBA came out and said. Because they said, we're going to respect if trans athletes and all this and whatnot. And so now these guys are going, well, if they're just going to openly allow them.
But they're not trans athletes, are they?
No, but they're identifying because that's what these rules or guidelines within the WNBA say. And so Cantor saw that. And, he released a video and he said, after careful, and thoughtful examination, my team and I have gone over all the guidelines and whatnot. And I am technically allowed to enter the WNBA. So I'm going to enter the draft next year because this is what the WNBA is allowing to happen. So they're going to go out and challenge it. Now, I know that they are constantly going to be having these meetings and Because I did see something over the weekend that said they're going to have a meeting on what is a woman.
Yes, that made me laugh. Like
yeah.
I'm like, so okay,
what did we fail biology? Did we not go to school?
I don't even have words, man, because it just blows my mind. Like, what are you going to do? Are we going to have two diagrams up there and point out the differences between a man and a woman?
Right.
Like, what? Like, seriously.
So I think what these two, what their goal is to get them to realize we're not on the same playing field. And I think because I've always been a big advocate on drastic change or drastic measures. In order for that to take place, you need to have a drastic change or something drastic to happen. And this would absolutely get that ball rolling. Imagine those two guys actually do end up, playing, and we're actually going through with this, and they're just flat out dominating, and it's not even fair at this point. They're gonna have to obviously tweak their rules.
Men don't belong in women's sports. Period.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you.
You just don't.
But the WNBA is allowing this to happen, so there's nobody to blame other than the WNBA.
But I did read that in the collective bargaining agreement with the players union, that it does say that this league is reserved for biological women.
So someone's not following the script.
I think the league has said we'll take anybody, but then you've got the players union that has their own rules.
I mean, I've seen certain WNBA players that were already embracing it. They're like, yeah, bring them on. And not talking about Ennis and Royce, but talking about, there was the one specific, I think there's a player over in France right now who's playing in the women's leagues out there, and she's transgender, and she's dominating over there too. I think she's averaging like 21-10 or something like that. But they were asking WNBA players about this individual, and they're like, yeah, why not? Bring her on.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Devin.
I don't want to say what I was about to say, but let's just move on. Hey, have you guys seen these stats coming out about Mahomes? I mean, I'm sure you guys know all of his stat lines, but like him in the rest of the league, he's like on Mars right now with, all this playoff appearances he's had. I mean, 17. I mean, he's almost played a whole season. He has played a whole season in playoffs. With the existing quarterbacks in the league, I'm excited for football, man.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that over
excited.
the last 10 years, Kansas City's been one of the most dominant teams in the league, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I was just kind of going over his stats. I mean, I guess you kind of just get kind of numb to it over the years, but, boy, he's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, he has started more conference championship games and Super Bowls than he has wild card and divisional round games.
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats. The closest person to him is Rodgers with 5, I think, playoffs, and he's at like 12 or something. And these are starts in the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. I think Rodgers is the closest one to him, and then everybody else is like 2. I mean, he's got everybody beat by a landslide. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd. I mean, I guess I didn't really realize how dominant this human being is, but it's crazy.
I mean, there's a reason why all these other teams have went out and made drastic measures to try to catch up to Kansas City, and I've said this for the last couple of seasons. I don't think it's so much about – I mean, I think that, there were, especially early on in Mahomes' career, those teams that Kansas City had were just dominant. Like, you couldn't stop them on offense. I think there's been a couple of things. One – they've lost some players off of those teams and didn't replace them with as much dominant. But I think the rest of the league's done a really good job of really trying to catch up with the bar that they set.
Well, do you think he's if he retired tomorrow, is he top 2?
No.
All time?
Yeah.
Not top 2.
No. I mean,
It's pretty crazy stat
though,
line.
man, it's just
if
tough.
he was to retire tomorrow and just looking at his 7 or 8, was it 8 years now? This would be his 8th year?
I mean, I would say top 2 in maybe current era. But, again, it's one of those things that, to me, as a guy that's, that grew up in the 70s and the 80s and saw a lot of great quarterbacks, but football wasn't played the way it is today, It's hard for me to say that he would be top 2.
All right, well, just keep that same energy when you're talking about LeBron and his era.
There's no doubt.
Hey, I heard you say it. I had to tackle it, man. I don't know. You just said it.
There's no doubt that LeBron. There's no doubt that LeBron has been a dominant player of his era. Is he the best basketball player of all time? No.
Fine. We all make mistakes, Doug. It's okay. Hey, you boys have a great Monday, man. It's beautiful out. Get out and walk down and get some water.
Before you
What's
leave,
up?
I just need to tell you congrats. We don't need to say why, but I saw something from you. Congratulations, Devin. Proud of you.
I appreciate it, brother. Just trying to be a light for everybody. You guys have a good day. Drink more water.
Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, 522-1410 is the phone number. I don't get into the GOAT debates. I don't.
It's hard.
I don't buy
It's hard.
into greatest of all time. I just don't buy into it.
That's fair. You've been around much longer, so I'm sure by the time I'm your age, I'm going to be exhausted of it.
Yeah.
There's one GOAT debate, though, that I'll never shy away from, and it's not that one. But I'm very, very passionate when it comes to a certain GOAT debate.
Which one is it?
Brady Manning.
Oh.
And I know, right off the get-go, you're like, it's not even close, but that's one I'm very passionate about.
I mean, I'm probably on your side. He did some good things for my team, too.
Can't claim him, though. He's ours.
No, he retired as a Bronco. Howard 3 next.
Your latest news on KGSO.
From the news desk, I'm Andy Hoosier. Back to school is officially underway with the school semester starting later this week across the state of Kansas and the city of Wichita. And with that preparation, Paul Mitchell School ended up offering free back-to-school haircuts over the weekend for children within the city of Wichita, saying that it was booked with over 100 pre-reservations from students and potentials for you to come back to get those haircuts done before the school starts.
So today we're just giving back to the community, offering free haircuts. We know back to school can be a burden for parents. It's expensive, so we're just trying to do what we can, and so we're going to try to give as many free haircuts today as we can. So we've left some room for some walk-ins, so people can walk in, and if for some reason they come in and we can't service them, we'll give them a free haircut coupon, but they can come back at their convenience.
That audio from Cake News. In other news, AAA of Kansas is reminding individuals and the public of bike safety as students begin to head back to the classroom as well, saying that with back to school means the increase in cycling activity and to be aware of bus stop areas and driving through school zones.
The news on KGSO is brought to you by Truck Stuff. Whether it's your camper, trailer, or both that need hauling, Truck Stuff has you covered. Online at truckstuffks.com or call 316-264-1908.
It's game week for the Kansas City Chiefs. Their first preseason game coming up on the 15th, Saturday. Patrick Mahomes loves the way camp is going so far and the competitiveness.
And that's what's been great about this campus. It's super competitive on both sides, and so a little scuffles here and there, but nothing crazy. And as long as we keep it like that and keep competing, that's where you get the best football team you can get.
After a car crash almost a week ago, Washburn basketball coach Brett Ballard, after being seriously injured, is expected to make a full recovery. Family says he is doing much better as he recovers. That's sports. I'm Doug Downs. Sports Report brought to you by Burwell Construction. Decks, pergolas, patio covers, roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430. We're online at burwellconstruction.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal. Here's Josh Nicolette, Hog Wild partner and general manager at Harry and Rock Road.
When you stop by for a Hog Wild family pack, we'll send you home with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family a complete meal. And best of all, family packs are priced right to feed groups of 4, 8, 12, or 16 people.
Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rusty Egg Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rusty Egg Ford. Visit rustyeggford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
Looking to make a difference? Volunteer for your local fire department. Join a family that will serve with you, always have your back, and train you to be the best version of yourself. Visit makemeafirefighter.org.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO, Belle Plaine, Wichita.
KGSO weather.
Mostly sunny and very mild to start off the day today in and around Wichita, and that's going to set the stage for a hot one this afternoon. Brace yourself, shooting for a high near 104. Heat index could hit 106 or higher. Wind, it'll be out of the south, 10 to 15, gusts to 25. Overnight tonight, we're mostly starry, still warm. Lows only dropping to about 80 degrees. We'll keep that south wind going. More heat on the way for Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs both days near 104. In the Cake First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Frank Waugh.
At 8 o'clock, it's currently 76 degrees.
Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita. This is The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Welcome into hour number 3 of the Game Plan on this Monday morning. It is Wichita's number 1 for sports talk, KGSO, 1410 AM, 93.9 FM. That's how you find us on the radio. You want to go other directions, you can. KGSO.com, lower right-hand corner of the homepage, listen live button. Across the KGSO app, you find that in the App Store at SC Wichita. And, of course, online, where you can watch, listen, leave comments for the show on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. Doug and James hanging out with you in the Renewal by Anderson studios. Renewal by Anderson. Installation done right and right on schedule. We welcome in your phone calls on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment hotlines at 522-1410 as we get 19 days away from kicking off college football. We're going to start breaking down some teams and some different leagues. And, of course, we're going to start with the Big 12 and talk about some teams out of the Big 12 and maybe some expectations for this upcoming season. I'll be honest with you, James. I mean, there are some teams in the Big 12 that I don't know a ton about just because of the new coaches that have stepped in, like Oklahoma State, even Utah, even though they hired within to replace Kyle Whittingham, who had been there a long, long time. Central Florida, Scott Frost's second year. So there's some teams that maybe I don't have as much knowledge about as others, but I do think there's a couple of teams that could surprise some people. I think Cincinnati could be really good this year. I think Houston could be really good this year. Those are two teams that I think I'm going to watch out for in the Big 12.
And I'm hearing a lot of buzz around Utah, and which is a little alarming because when you lose a long-tenured coach like that, it's a fresh restart. It's all right, let's work from the ground up and see what all needs to be tweaked or how else we can switch things up to be competitive in this conference. So I'm going to be actually keeping a close eye on them because there's a lot of reports out there that are saying Dampier is going to be electric this year with his dual threat ability and his ability to escape the pocket, really, and to find receivers down the field. But outside of that, there's a lot of question marks for me. So I'm going to be, my radar's on for Utah because I'm not really understanding why they're still getting this respect with a whole new coaching system. And I know it's not a new philosophy. They'll probably keep a lot of the things that we know Utah for, and that's running the football and being physical. But now that they have an elusive quarterback like that definitely opens up the game plan, the playbook. Excuse me. The one thing though the one good thing that I can take away from Utah is it's not going to be bland and stale, right? And that kind of tends to happen when you've had a coach in one place for a really long time and you're not having the same success you were. It just feels a little stale. And that's what it felt like with Kyle Whittingham towards his, end of his tenure with Utah. So I'm expecting a fresh look, a fresh feel from Utah, but still carry a lot of the same traits that they have for the last 15 years or so.
Well, they promoted Morgan Scaley, who has been there since 2016. He was the defensive coordinator, so he's been in the program for a long time, been around the area for a long time, understands how you have to recruit in that area. I'm sure understands all of the NIL and things that go along with Utah. I guess, if there's a concern, you bring in a first-year offensive coordinator, Kevin McGivern, who came over from Utah State. He spent some seasons at Utah State as your offensive coordinator, and to put him with an experienced quarterback like that, like what's the offense going to look like compared to what it has in the past? Maybe a little bit different. But, man, Utah's always, even prior to joining the Big 12, Utah was a good football program. It's always been a tough place to play.
And with this whole NIL era, word on the street was, when I was still living there, is that the Utah program they didn't have nearly the same amount of resources that BYU had. For some reason, the BYU alum, they carry more of pride that they're from BYU than those, I think, that are from Utah. And I'm not sure what the exact reasoning is, but I know for sure that the NIL, it's endless for BYU because there's so many donors, so many boosters that want to see this program do well. And so naturally, I think we all just kind of assumed that, Utah would start losing a lot of their recruits to BYU. But at the end of the day, they're still going to attract those. They're still going to attract physical linemen because that's what Utah's been built on. They've always had, decent to great offensive lines, and I don't expect that to change any soon. But they do have an uphill battle, obviously, now in this new era because they know that, BYU significantly has a lot more resources to work with than Utah does.
But BYU's like Notre Dame. They've got a national fan base, too.
Well, yeah. So I think they're always gonna have that support. And the thing about, I think in Utah in general, like those fans just show up. Win, lose, good, bad, they show up. And I think that also helps the program not ever fade away because there was a time period where BYU was irrelevant, right? And they weren't winning a bunch of games, and they were just kind of a middle of the pack team. That's changed. That's no longer the case, and you could maybe even plug in Utah. And I know Utah had that success with Rising a few years ago and all that, but
they kept him way too long.
Since then, it's kind of like, all right, we've been waiting for you guys to take that next step. And you haven't. So
yeah, but I mean, they hung on to Rising for what, like 9 seasons,
7 years, something like that. Yeah,
he was a career-long college kid.
Yeah,
he was taking classes at BYU because he'd already taken all of them at Utah. He could take, like he was done. So if I have a knock on Kyle Whittingham as a coach, and I've always said this, he was a guy that I wouldn't be afraid to let my own son go play for. Like he was just a good dude, or is a good dude. But if there was a knock on him, that Cam Rising thing, he just hung on too long.
I think he does have a tendency, too, of being complacent. Like, he's not an overly aggressive play caller either. So, when they had the lead, you wouldn't expect them to double that lead by the end of the game or run away with it. I mean, they would just comfortably keep their pace. And a lot of the time, he would get slander for this, as he would play not to lose when he had leads later in the game. And it's not like he was out here blowing leads left and right, but you could sense that the offense, they took their foot off the gas pedal in games where they had the lead. So he's not going to be able to do that at Michigan. I mean, there's no room for that at all. So
of course, you only have to win one game at Michigan. You do that every year, you're golden.
True.
I mean, that's really
it's not that big of a scale for Utah BYU, but it is still, very important to beat the other side,
right,
when you're a part of those schools.
The Big 12 team that I probably have the most questions about is Oklahoma State. Like, what are they really going to be? They got 24 former North Texas football players on this roster now to go with Eric Morris, their coach. including starting quarterback Drew Messmaker. You got Caleb Hawkins as a running back, Wyatt Young as a wideout. You got some guys that came over here from a North Texas team that went 12-2 in the American Athletic Conference. Now they're going to come and play Big 12 football. I think offensively, this team's going to be able to score. I don't know what they're going to put on the field defensively wise to stop people. But this is a team I'm anxious to watch. I mean, Mike Gundy was there for so long. We got so used to the way Oklahoma State played. It was that fast-paced offense. Usually always had good linebackers and strong defense until the latter years. And kind of like Utah, you're replacing such a long-tenured coach. Like, how big of a difference is this going to be in Oklahoma State football?
Yeah, no, it does raise a good amount of questions, and I think they're going to be bringing over the same offense, obviously, which is they call it a power air raid, which I don't really know exactly what that means. I'm assuming just an extra tight end on a lot of passing formations. So we should be expecting a lot more points. I think that should be the number one takeaway is the offense won't be stagnant. And it won't just flutter out. I'm expecting a lot of, pre-snap movement, a lot of, identifying pre-snap. And I have high hopes for Messmaker. I really do. I think that this guy does have what it takes to be a good quarterback at this level, but he just needs to go out and do it. Right? That's the only thing that's I guess circling him right now is we know your skill and we know that you're talented. Now show us against quality opponents. And I think that's going to be his biggest hurdle this season is, getting up to speed with a power conference because it is a lot different going from, what was it? They're in the American,
The
right?
American, yeah.
So, yeah, going from the American to the Big 12 is obviously going to be a big jump. And it's going to be a learning process. Like no one, I don't think anyone's expecting them to come flying out of the gate, for them to just be polished and for them to have no problems. Like this team is going to have some hiccups to work around. Because, 90% of their roster is new? Maybe there's
85 transfers.
How many guys? 90? 95? I mean, there's probably only a couple of dudes that were there last year. So, I mean, this is a completely different team. But, and they got to have fun with it. That's the thing is, they have so many different players from so many different places that they're kind of they all have to buy in on this, misfit mentality because of all the different teams and different schemes that they have come from. Now they got to put all that together. So I think if they get everybody on board, all these new players, and they all get them to buy in, that could be dangerous because this is the reason for college football they made transfer sit out for a year to prevent something like this. To prevent a bunch of dudes from going to one school together. That was the main reason why, hey, if you transferred, you got to sit out a year and then you can play. Now that's out the window. And so, I mean, obviously the options are endless, but being on a realistic side, this team will be fun and they may get into a lot of shootouts. But defense always takes a little bit longer to catch up to speed, in my opinion. So I think they'll get into a lot of shootouts, but that defense it's going to be a work. It's going to be a work in progress.
I think that if you're Oklahoma State, you got to look at it this way. If you're a fan of Oklahoma State, not Oklahoma State, because look, I don't care who you are. You come into a season, and you think you're going to win every game, or you should have that mentality. But from a fan standpoint, you got to win the games now that you should win. You should probably win at Tulsa to open up. You should win against Murray State. You got to keep game 2. It's in Stillwater versus Oregon. You got to see what you can do to keep that game halfway close. And when I mean halfway close, don't get beat by 40, show something. But when you get into Big 12 play, man, I don't know. At West Virginia is going to be tough. I think Central Florida is going to be better. At Houston's tough. Your first 3 conference games, I don't know if you win them. You get Colorado that comes in. Maybe you can win that. You go to Iowa State with a new coach. Don't really know what Iowa State's going to bring. Their schedule doesn't line up for them to have a 6-win season, in my opinion, in year number 1. I may be wrong.
And that should be their goal, is to make a bowl game. Like that should be goal number one, even if they end up 6-6. Like that's a victory, especially from what happened last year. But you're right, maybe not the most favorable of schedules, but if they start off 2-1, I think they're in really good shape. And I think that has to be the priority right now for this squad. Going 1-2 obviously would put a huge dent. Losing to Tulsa would just be inexcusable. You can't do that. But I'm not as high on West Virginia as maybe some other people are. So they could absolutely go into Morgantown and win. UCF, that's a winnable game as well, but Houston will be a little bit tough. So I don't know. Best case scenario, 3-3, 4-2, I think is could be in the works for them. 3-3, I think, sounds a little bit better to me. But if they start off 2-4, then it's going to feel like the world is crashing down. If they start off 2-4 and they only have wins against Tulsa and Tulsa and Murray State, I mean that would be worst case scenario. And to not be close against Oregon, to throw up a dud against West Virginia. So I think it's crucial that they win at least 2 out of their first 3.
Let's talk about West Virginia, because that's another team that I think there's a lot of question marks behind. Rich Rod is a good coach. He's where he needs to be, back at his alma mater. I don't know that they've figured out yet who their quarterback is going to be. They got the Oklahoma transfer Mike Hawkins Jr. and then a sophomore Scotty Fox Jr. that's kind of in a battle right now. The thing that I think about West Virginia that is so unique is because of where they sit, like West Virginia geographically does not belong in the Big 12.
No.
At all. So because of where they sit, and from what I understand, the people that go there, like it's not an easy travel day. You got to be bussed from a long ways away from the airport. I don't know, man. I think West Virginia is a team that, again, 6 wins is probably your benchmark, become a bowl eligible. And West Virginia is such a tough place to play. I think if you win your home games, you're in good shape.
I've been hearing that for 10 years. Their home field advantage is really good. They know how to play well there. Just show it to me. Like, I'm tired of the talk and the hype. Like, just show it to me. If Mike Hawkins does end up winning this job, I think they will have a little bit more success. And I know Rich Rod has his ties with West Virginia, but, I mean, I think he got lucky with a couple of those recruits that he landed along the way. There's not a Pat White. There's not a Geno Smith hanging around anytime soon. So, and that's been kind of their biggest weakness over the last, I would say, 5-6 years. They haven't had a quarterback. I know Garrett Green was nice and he could scramble and he
showed a lot of promise early.
But yeah, especially when he was a freshman too.
Yeah.
But he never developed into a true downfield passer guy. And West Virginia really hasn't had a vertical quarterback in quite some time. So that's when West Virginia can become dangerous, is when they have someone that can push the ball down the field. And they haven't had that for quite some time. And this is why they've been kind of a middle of the pack team. They haven't had a super strong running game. Their offensive line play, I think, is average at best. And they have a couple of defenders sometimes get drafted in the league. But this is kind of just another middle of the pack team for me. I'm not ever blown away by anything that they do. I just think that nostalgia was the reason that they even brought him back, Rich Rod, and that because that to them would give them the best chance of winning, because what they have been putting up has not been good football over the last 3 or 4 years.
Don't you feel like West Virginia is this team in the Big 12? And like I said, it's a team geographically that doesn't belong. Like every year, I just keep thinking to myself, when's West Virginia going to leave this league? Like they just never have really been accepted.
What, do you think they should go to the ACC?
Something like maybe, but the ACC don't even make sense anymore either.
No,
none of them do. They've got a very favorable schedule. They're one of their toughest non-con is against Virginia. That's in Charlotte, North Carolina. So a game you can win. You get Oklahoma State at home. You got to go to Iowa State. Arizona's at home. Cincinnati's at home. Got to go to Fort Worth. That'll be tough. You have to go to Lubbock. That'll be tough. Get KU at home. You get Houston at home, and then you go to Utah. Like, it's a pretty favorable schedule for them. It's not like, they don't have Arizona State on the schedule. They don't have Kansas State on the schedule. They do have Tech. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. I'm like you. I think they're probably mid-pack somewhere.
And that's where they have been for the last 5 years. I mean, yeah, they've had probably a few more worse seasons than good ones. But there's nothing massive for me to take away from this team. I think they're just very average. They'll probably finish in the top 10, but barely sneak in. So 8th or 9th, I think, is where I would slate them in.
So the next team that I want to look at here, because I've got tons of questions about, is Iowa State. I know nothing about Iowa State football now that Matt Campbell's left. Like I got to look up who their quarterback's going to even be. Jalen Rayner, a transfer from Arkansas State, and Zane Flores, a Oklahoma State transfer, competing for the starting job. Like, Matt Campbell put Iowa State on the map, and Iowa State over the years, they've always been that pesky team. There were years back in the early 90s when Nebraska would be number 1 in the country, and they would go to Ames and have to have a last-second field goal or touchdown to win the game. And Iowa State was, had 2 wins on the season. Like, they've always been this pesky team. But Matt Campbell, I think, held a lot of that together. He recruited better than probably most coaches would to Ames, Iowa. And I just don't know where this program goes now that he's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite from Oklahoma State and Utah in terms of what they need to do to build. Because you lost a guy who could bring in that talent, and now you have to figure out, okay, how do we keep this? How do we sustain this? That's going to be their biggest hurdle. But you're right. I don't know too much about this team either, but I don't expect a huge drop-off. I don't expect this team to just be irrelevant and not be competitive. I mean, this is going to be a team probably in the middle to the upper third of this conference. To me, these Iowa teams, you can include the Cyclones in here too, or sorry, the Hawkeyes, but they play with pride, and I think that can go a long way. They because they know, hey, we're in Iowa, we're not going to get the same hype as some of these other programs, so let's just do what we do best, and that to me, I think can be a positive trait to have for a team. Like, yeah, you may not have the names on paper, but we just play with a lot of continuity, and special things can happen. And so that to me has always been kind of Iowa football in a nutshell. Is they know that they're not going to be flashy, they're not going to be exciting, but we're going to have bigger, stronger guys than you, and you have to try and keep up with us physically. So if they can keep that mentality and being physical and not being this, preppy pass team, they got to be physical, I think, in order for them to have any sort of success. Because if they want to play pretty ball, then I don't think that's going to work out for them.
But your head coaches came from Washington State and South Dakota State. Like, he's probably not the mindset of power football.
Well, he's going to have to learn that, because look what happened to Fickle. He came to the Big Ten and he completely wiped away everything that Wisconsin had built up. And he said, nope, I'm going to bring in my offense, and look how that turned out. So sometimes conferences humble individuals, and this is what that's what they're going to have to do to make sure that they don't get humbled. Or they're going to have to punch them first.
Or do they go to the other approach and say, we're going to do something that we've never done at Iowa State. We're going to spread the field. We're going to run a fast-paced offense. We're going to get right back to the line of scrimmage, and we're going to try to wear you down. Here's the thing about the Big 12, and this is not a knock on the Big 12, so Big 12 fans, don't get mad at me when I say this, but I think you would agree when you look at the Power 4 conferences, Big 12 defenses aren't overly physical. They're not. It's not the Big 10. It's not the SEC.
They play bend, don't break.
Right. So I think a high-powered offense has a chance. An Oklahoma State with a good quarterback, an Iowa State with a guy that understands kind of more of an air raid system. You probably have a chance. If you're going to change an offense to that, you probably have a chance in this conference.
Yeah.
And it's what your defense is going to see a lot.
I'm going to say, yeah, there's going to be enough holes, I think, to maybe get away with a few big plays.
Yep. All right, 3 teams right there that we kind of maybe have question marks in the Big 12. We'll continue to talk about Big 12 football here throughout the rest of the week. Talk about some of these other teams that are maybe towards the top of the conference. I still don't have a good take on who I think is going to win the Big 12. I mean, everything would tell you follow the money, which is Texas Tech, but I don't know. Back after this, couple of segments left here on this Monday edition of the Game Plan right here on KGSO.
This portion of the Game Plan brought to you by Southwestern Remodeling, Wichita's full-line remodeler since 1970. See our project galleries at southwesternremodeling.com.
The Game Plan. KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Looking for a healthier option to get you through the afternoon grind? Check out Dot Greens with 3 locations in Wichita. At Dot Greens, you can find a huge selection of salads, wraps, and sandwiches that won't leave you feeling bloated all afternoon. With the freshest ingredients, you know you'll always feel great after a lunch or dinner at Dot Greens. Check them out at Central and Hillside or at the Waterfront and New Market Square. While you're there, don't forget to pick up a few bottles of freshly pressed juice. Dot Greens, locally owned and operated.
Even the finest jewelry needs repairs sometimes, and Wichita's first choice for full-service jewelry repair is Jewelry Savers. Whether you need ring sizing, stone setting, soldering, or shank repair, Jewelry Savers does it, along with lobster clasps, prong retipping, pearl restringing, chains shortened or lengthened, watch repair, watch batteries, watch bands, engraving, cleaning, polishing, even appraisals. Trust Jewelry Savers by Cabela's at K96 in Greenwich.
Jewelry Savers, we don't want $1 million, just a million friends.
Wichita Wind Surge Baseball is back at Equity Bank Park. Bring your friends, bring the family, and enjoy an exciting night of baseball right here in Wichita. From big hits to family-friendly promotions and special theme nights, there's always something happening at the ballpark. For the full schedule of upcoming events, follow us on Facebook at Wichita Wind Surge or visit us online at windsurge.com. Wichita Wind Surge Baseball. Don't miss the action at Equity Bank Park.
Are you looking for a better healthcare experience this summer? Kingman Healthcare Center is a full-service hospital with a 24/7 emergency room with little to no wait times. Our clinics offer same-day appointments and convenient scheduling for your annual checkups. Don't wait. Make your health a top priority and schedule your appointment today. You won't regret the short drive without the big city traffic. Exceptional care every time. To learn more, visit our website, kingmanhc.com.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one? I heard it comes in a hybrid now. I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you, because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy, only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
My online girlfriend asked me to send her $10,000 so she could come and visit me.
Online girlfriend? Have you met her?
No, but she sent me her picture, so I know she's real.
Stop right there. Does that sound suspicious to you? When people you meet online start asking for money, pause, check with a trusted friend or relative, and do not be pressured into quick decisions. To learn more about common investment scams and how to avoid them, visit smartinvestks.gov. That's smartinvestks.gov. This ad is sponsored by the Kansas Department of Insurance and aired in cooperation with this station.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Remember, today you listen to The Game Plan on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
It's that time of morning for me to tell you all about our friends at Dot Green, Central and Hillside Waterfront, New Market Square. That's the 3 locations you can go by for lunch. Have yourself a great, healthy lunch. All kinds of salads, wraps, sandwiches, entree options. You don't have to worry when you go to Dot Green's at all. They take care of all of their products and make sure that they are safe before it ever makes it out to your plate. So get by and see our friends today at Dot Green's. You will have a great lunch. You won't feel bloated on a 105-degree day afterwards, and you'll feel healthy when you're done eating. Stop on by, see Devin and his crew. They'll do a great job, take good care of you. Central and Hillside Waterfront and New Market Square. 522-1410 is the phone number. Call the show. Be a part of it here this morning. Love to hear from you as always. As a matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do. Another great sponsor of the show is our friends at Andy's Frozen Custard. 4 locations. Derby now, brand new location. You also have out west at 119th and Mays. You've got out east on East 21st Street, and then over in Clifton Square. I got 4 free concretes for my first caller right now at 522-1410 from Andy's Frozen Custard. You get 4 free concretes. That frozen custard made fresh in the store every single hour. Baked goods made fresh every single day. Get any topping you want. 4 free concretes from Andy's Frozen Custard. Just call the show at 522-1410. It's that simple. I know there's thousands of people listening to the show. And look, a day like today, little frozen custard from Andy's, I'm telling you, it hit the spot. So 522-1410. Good morning. Welcome to the Game Plan. Who's this?
Hi, this is Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Give me the first initial of your last name.
R.
All right, Vanessa, you know where we're located at?
I don't, actually.
Kellogg and Mays Road. We are just south of Kellogg on Mays. You'll see the big radio tower in the parking lot. You can't miss it. Swing in here, and Miss Denise will have your coupons for you to go by Andy's. Get your 4 free custards.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate you listening.
Hey. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Hi. Good morning. Welcome to the Game Plan. All right. Yep. Somebody else wanted them. Vanessa got in first. Appreciate her listening to the show every single day. Just an update, and I put this in my sports report, so you may have heard about this already, but I do think this is worth updating people on. Brett Ballard, who was the basketball coach, or is the basketball coach for Washburn University, last week he was seriously hurt in a car accident when his car went off the road on Interstate 70 and hit a bridge pillar. It was Tuesday night that this happened. In a statement, his family thanked the medical staff who's caring for him in Topeka and the community for their support, but also said that he is receiving the care he needs and is expected to make a full recovery and is recovering pretty nicely there in that hospital in Topeka. So good for him. They thank the community and everybody for their outpouring of love and prayers and encouragement for the coach, and wants them to keep Brett in their thoughts and prayers as well as he recovers and hopefully gets back to being back at Washburn real soon. I'm not sure what all his injuries were. I don't think they ever really reported that or even the cause of this accident. It was just a one-car accident, so don't know if maybe he nodded off he was driving an Ford F-150 truck, so don't know if he maybe nodded off or what happened, but he is expected to make a full recovery. So that's some great news coming out of Washburn for Brett Ballard. Obviously, I think he is some type of relation because he was at Kansas, and I think he's some type of relation to Cole Ballard, who is in the role of possibly being the starting quarterback for the University of Kansas. I don't know how they're related. Maybe some KU fans do, but I don't know how they are related. And speaking of that, I guess it is a battle at the University of Kansas between Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall on who the starting quarterback is going to be. I've reached out to Kansas. We will get Coach Leipold on the show, I'm sure, here maybe in the next week or two. Just kind of waiting to see what his schedule looks like. It's kind of tough this time of year, obviously. But if we do, we'll talk to him about this. He did mention when we talked to him during Big 12 Media Days that both of these guys are talented enough that they both will see the field this year. Now, does that mean that they use them in maybe even some different positions, or is it going to be a two-quarterback system? But Ballard said they are competing every single day. There's not really a leader in who's going to get this starting call. They keep going out there and competing. They're splitting reps with the number ones evenly. Ballard in his fourth year in the program, Marshall beginning year number 3 for the Kansas Jayhawks. So it's going to be interesting to see on who they come up with. Jim Zorbrowski, the passing game coordinator, says that, yes, each one of them want to be the starter. They're going to compete really, really hard, but it's about as equal as it gets. I know Isaiah Marshall was a young man that when he came to Kansas, he was pretty highly recruited and was a kid that, honestly, through all of the Daniel stuff, I was afraid was maybe going to leave because I think he had opportunities at other universities to probably go on and play right away, but he stuck it out at Kansas in hopes of getting that starting job. Now finds himself in a battle. And of course, we all remember Cole Ballard. He had to come in and start and play against Kansas State when Daniels was hurt one year and actually led the Jayhawks to a pretty good game where they almost won that game. It was one of those close games. So I think both these kids are going to be very, very good. And we're going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about KU when we break down the Big 12. But I'm anxious to see what this Kansas Jayhawk football team looks like this year. I think that where I don't think Coach Leipold is on the hot seat, I do think that this is a very important year for the program. They've got the new stadium. They got the new facilities. Now it's time for this program to show signs of moving forward and not backwards. And I think if you look at last season, I don't know if there's been enough made of this, and this is something we'll talk to Coach Leipold about when we have him on. But last season, remember, their home games were at Arrowhead. And even though it's an NFL stadium and it's pretty cool to go play there, it's still a disruption, man. When you got to travel from Lawrence to Kansas City just to play your home game, and you got to, you're not sleeping in your own beds the night before, everything's different. It was a disruption. And I just wonder how much of that helped derail this team to not take a step forward and progress. I talked to Coach Leipold about it last year prior to the season starting. And, of course, he said what every good coach would say. He played it down and said, hey, we've been over there several times in the offseason. We've kind of got the lay of the land. We understand that, yes, it's not Memorial Boost Stadium, but we're going to turn this into a feel of KU as much as we can. So kind of played it down last year. I think now that season's over, if you ask him about it, he will probably admit that it wasn't ideal. It wasn't the best of things. And it was part of probably what kept the KU program down. But I don't think he's on the hot seat by no means. You're right. It was the year before. They played at the booth last year. Arrowhead was 2 years ago. You are correct about that. Sean, thank you. I don't, but even last year at the booth, it was different because of the one side not being done. Yeah, I don't think Leipold is on the hot seat by any means. I'm just trying to think to myself right now of the Big 12 coaches that are out there. Are any of them sitting on the hot seat right now? Is there any one of these coaches coaching in the Big 12 that maybe you say if they don't get bowl eligible that their school would move on from them? I don't know that we have any in the Big 12. We have so many new coaches in the Big 12. That's part of the issue there. All right, 522-1410 if you want to weigh in this morning. Would love to hear from you on the show. Want you to be a part of it. We got one final segment left. James will be back for the final segment. Probably spend it talking a little baseball. The Royals couldn't get it done over the weekend. They win one game in the 3-game set against the Cubs. Now it is a road trip to one of the best teams in baseball, the Dodgers, tonight at 9:10. Back after this.
This segment of the game plan is brought to you by Moneytown Pawn on Oliver, just south of Pawnee. Tools, electronics, firearms, jewelry, and more. Find what you need at Moneytown Pawn.
The game plan. KGSO.
40 to the 30. The Burners are on. High school football is almost here. And your one-stop source for all your high school football is your High School Football Guide from the Mid-America Sports Network. Stay tuned in and hear where you can pick up your copy. Catch each team's season schedule, read about each team and coach, and follow your favorite team all season long. It's the Mid-America Sports Network Football Guide, and it's coming to a location near you.
Are you in need of a new dentist? Check out 316 Dental at 13th and West Street. 316 Dental is now offering same-day services with the addition of a second dentist. That's right, same day. The hardworking team includes 4 hygienists and stays open late to fit your schedule. 316 Dental accepts most major insurance companies. Ask them about their new patient special that includes a comprehensive exam and x-rays. They also offer implants and Invisalign.
Care that soars above and beyond. 316 Dental.
Every school pickup line has a main character. Most days, it's the kids. But once a year, a parent pulls up in a brand new Kia Telluride. And suddenly, all eyes are on Mom.
Is that the new one? I heard it comes in a hybrid now. I heard it has heated seats in all 3 rows.
And for a moment, the kids aren't the only ones in the spotlight. This August, let that parent be you. Because Mom deserves to shine too. Or if it's your student's turn to get behind the wheel, find great starter cars like the K4 sedan and K4 hatchback. Plus, you can get 0% financing on brand new Sportage and Sorento models. And every new Kia is backed by our unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Whichever model you choose, we have big savings on great vehicles for that main character energy. Only at Midwest Kia.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. Kingman Healthcare Center has been caring for patients of all ages for over 50 years. We are growing and now hiring. Kingman Healthcare Center is hiring RNs, CNAs, patient services manager, patient services representative, insurance biller, phlebotomist, and more. Kingman Healthcare Center offers competitive pay and comprehensive benefits, a positive, family-oriented work environment, and opportunities for growth. Kingman Healthcare Center is an equal opportunity employer. Apply online today at kingmanhc.com/careers.
When a person calls 988, they're connected to a crisis counselor.
Crisis is completely self-defined. If you're wondering if you should call, you should probably call.
A caller can expect to talk about coping skills, talk about resources, and ways to move forward beyond the call.
They can call us, they can chat, they can text, and when they come out on the other side, they're feeling better.
Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Sponsored by Headquarters Kansas and aired in cooperation with this station.
For over 55 years and 2 generations, the Southwestern Remodeling Professionals have been providing homeowners in the Wichita area with a truly unique luxury remodeling experience. From the initial consultation through project design and production, our team provides concierge-style service with a true focus on the best quality products and professional installation. Are you ready to experience something truly different? Give us a call today at 263-1239 or visit southwesternremodeling.com.
See the latest promotions and special events online at KGSO.com. This is Wichita's sports station.
things up here on this Monday morning. Welcome back into the show. Appreciate everybody listening. Let's get a little word here from our friends.
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
Taco Tico. All about the taste. 13th and Tyler, 35th and Rock Road. That's how you find them here in Wichita. Also, Arc City, Newton, El Dorado, Derby, Augusta. You can order online at tacotico.us. I was just trying to look here real quick. Oh, we still got 3 days. 3 days before we change specials. It's a great special when we change it, James. But you can still get the 2 for $5 for $5. Two for only $5. Taco burger, beef sancho, combo burrito. Pick any two, just $5. Taco Tico, where it's all about the taste. Have you been over there yet?
It's been a while. But yeah, I have.
Got to get over there and get the 2 for $5, man. That might be on my menu today. Little combo burrito, taco burger, drink, about $6.35. I've been over there a couple of times. I know how much it costs. Can't beat that for lunch at all. What was your baseball watching over the weekend?
I actually saw a record happen over the weekend.
Yeah.
Not Scherzer cracking the top 10, but an Athletics shortstop, Jacob Wilson, broke a record for most consecutive games without an error by a shortstop, with 111 of them. And I got to think, like, and I don't have all the positions in front of me, but that's got to be the shortest streak, because they get more ground balls than any other position. So, but 111, you're telling me that baseball's been around for this long and we haven't had an errorless shortstop season yet defensively? There's been a lot of great defensive shortstops, and it's never happened. That's pretty remarkable. That's pretty damn remarkable for me. So for Jacob Wilson, not a rookie, but a second-year guy, for him to break this record, I mean, that's truly special. But the A's also did finally win a series against the Red Sox, who, by the way, that was their first series loss in over a month, because I think they were like 28-3 or something like that over the last month. And, so a little small victory. But, yeah, it was mainly just baseball this whole weekend.
That is crazy. 111 games.
Right? You'd think it'd be longer.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Ozzie Smith, I thought for sure he would have had this record far and beyond the next one.
But, you wonder when you go back and you look at some of those that were maybe recorded in error, like, were they really?
I mean, that's a lot of nitpicking, a lot of film to watch. Right. But I'm sure there's other guys that could have been a part of this that maybe had an umpire call kind of ruin it. But
you know what I'm surprised to see so much of in Major League Baseball lately, and maybe it's been going on and I just haven't paid close enough attention. There seems to be a lot of throwouts now, like on bases. I saw just over the weekend. I think I saw like 4.
You're talking about like
pickoffs at first, or the catcher throwing down and getting somebody on a steal to second. I don't know. Maybe it's just sticking out to me lately.
I don't think that part of the game is taught nearly as much, like base path running.
Right.
I truly don't think that is an emphasis for a lot of these guys, because they're teaching them just hit it over the fence. Who cares how you run around the bases? Just get home. And I think that's kind of trickled down to that. But no, we don't. I don't think the league is exceptional at base running. Now you'll get a couple of guys, a couple speedsters, obviously, that are just naturally going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, like very rarely are you going to pick off Bobby Witt.
Yeah, so I've been noticing the drop in stolen bases. I just don't think it's taught, and that could be stemming from how we're teaching these kids when they're first playing, is to not do that. But
I can't remember what night it was. It was one of the Royals games this weekend. I think it was Saturday, because when did they lose? Friday, I think they lost.
The late one.
Yeah, but like Kaggs is on base. They got a good opportunity, and he gets thrown out trying to steal second. And it's like, dude, like, why
from the catcher or from
the catcher?
From the catcher.
Why do you Why do you take chances at that point in time, especially with a dude that – and Kaggs can move for his size, but still.
Yeah. I just think it's a little bit of a lost art, stealing bases. It's not because of the whole you can only pick off 3 times per thing. I think that it's definitely altered the amount of bases that players steal. And because everything is so, focused around, just hitting it deep and, we'll worry about where you're at when you get there. It's not so much of like strategizing and building up hits and moving guys around the base path. It's basically, let's just try and clear this in one swing. And I think because of that, it has lost its art, base path.
I thought when they changed the pickoff rule, maybe that
you'd think it would
have went down. Like
I was thinking stolen bases were going to go up because
exactly,
base runners knew, okay, he can't throw it over here, so I'm just going to go. And that, I don't think that part has really been taken advantage of.
It's always amazing to me, too, some of these guys and the strength of their arm from the outfield. Like, you see guys getting thrown out at home from the outfield.
It's one of the best plays, is to see a guy throw it from 200-300 feet away and on a rope.
Yeah.
Just perfect. Catcher doesn't have to move. I mean, that's an art in its own self.
So do you have the MLB network?
No, I don't, but I always find ways to
watch the A's?
To be able to watch them.
Do you do the same thing during the NFL?
No. Can't be having buffers. Can't be having it freeze on me. Got to have the whole game on. It's got to be smooth. Smooth sailing.
Do you get the NFL network? Or the
YouTube TV.
The package, the Sunday ticket?
Yeah.
I do too, and here's what kind of irritates me. And even though I'm not a big preseason fan, I'm still thinking to myself, these are preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not on the Sunday ticket? Like, you should be able to watch. Like, Denver's going to play this week, and they probably won't even be on. I won't even be able to watch, even if I wanted to.
I don't know if I have an answer for that. Because they would just charge you more?
Well, you're already paying for it right now. Because that's what
but
they do.
They would charge you more, though, if they included those preseason games. And then I don't think a lot of people would actually pay for that. Or, I mean, if it's included with it.
Maybe they just want people to go to those because they know that's the one time a year where tickets are affordable to go to a game.
Yeah. That could be true.
Go buy a $10 ticket to a preseason game. Maybe not that low. All right, 522-1410 is a phone number. I watched the Royals and I watched some NASCAR. That was about it from the weekend.
Well, you won't be wanting to watch the Royals over the next 3 days because.
Oh, they're going to beat the Dodgers.
I mean, if any time is the time to beat the Dodgers,
Aren't they
it's
on a
now.
slide?
They are on a slide, and this happens every year with the Dodgers
because
since
they don't
they've
care.
started. Well, because they realize we don't need the 1 seed. We don't need to be the best team because we're going to be ready come October.
They're 2-8 in their last 10.
Yeah, they've been on a cold slide, and it's funny that the Tigers have actually won 7 straight since trading Scooball away. I don't know why. I don't know how that works out. I don't know how it lines up, but Scooball's on the mound today. We'll be facing Noah Cameron. That's going to be one hell of a pitching matchup. If Noah Cameron can continue what he's been doing recently, this will be a really, really good game. But the Dodgers are a massive favorite. That's a massive favorite for a baseball game, for a regular.
What's the favorite? What
the other minus 320.
Wow. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers probably better get it together, though, because they're behind the Braves and the Brewers both. And the Cubs are starting to kind of catch up here. So I don't know that you can just go through these games and say, we don't care.
Well, because their magic formula is not winning 100 games, and I've been very vocal about that. So they can go 29-14 and not hit that 100. And I think that's very doable. That's extremely doable for them because they've never won a World Series winning 100 games in a regular season ever. So, I think that needs to stay true. They need to. They don't want to go full gas pedal, full throttle until the very end. I mean, this is a team that's always in the Final Four, year in and year out. So, I mean, they know that, a lot of other teams play 162, but we play 180. And so that's what we're prepping and that's what we're planning for. And it's probably going to work out for them again.
The Dodgers have as many wins as the Royals do losses. Both at 70. It is kind of interesting, though, that in the National League, there's only one team with 70-plus losses, and that's the Rockies. In the American League, you got 3 teams. Your Athletics, the Angels, and the Royals. Well, not in that order.
Yeah, it's been a bad second half of the season.
And the Athletics were up there to start, weren't they?
They were. They had a nice. Well, and it was because the rest of the division was also pretty bad too. First 60, 70 games of the season, and they were floating around 500. But I mean, playing like that, and then of course they've had a few injuries, derail their offensive production too. It just wasn't going to be sustainable. So, I mean, am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised, but it is a little disappointing knowing that we have younger guys and younger players that are on contracts, and it's still not quite translating to victories just yet. But
Are you glad they're moving to Vegas, or do you care?
It doesn't affect me either way. I know that, the city of Oakland, the fans, they embraced them, but obviously the city did not. And it's unfortunate that, Fisher couldn't, just swallow his pride and open up the checkbook a little bit more to build a stadium there that, would have stayed. But, that's all said and done. That's over with. I think moving to Vegas can actually, do them somewhat good.
Look, the players just went from probably paying the highest tax to not paying any.
Not paying any, yeah.
They're loving it.
And I'm sure Fisher found some breaks, some tax breaks in there too, getting out of California. So
guaranteed.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, California and New York. That's where you don't want to play. You don't want to be a coach, a player, or nothing. I read this deal. Like, Matt Stafford is what, like a $45 million a year guy, right?
Getting half of that.
Yeah, not even half. He gets in with like $16 million. It's crazy. It's going to do it for us. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the game plan.